Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
Crucial Ballistix gaming memory delivers the seamless performance and instant responsiveness you need for total domination. With Ballistix gaming memory, you get faster speeds, lower latencies, and aggressive heat spreaders. Advanced features such as LEDs, low-profile modules, and real-time temperature monitoring let you customize your rig further. Ballistix modules are available in DDR3 and the latest DDR4 technology, which is faster, has lower voltages, and greater capacities than DDR3. Choose your level of performance with Sports, Tactical, or Elite series, and crush the competition with Ballistix. Accelerate nearly everything on your rig with a crucial SSD. Slash load times. Get into your game faster and access files, games, and apps almost as soon as you click on them. Choose the form factor that's right for your build and destroy the competition with the power and acceleration of a crucial SSD.
Crucial is a brand of Micron, one of the largest memory manufacturers in the world. We leverage more than 35 years of expertise to create some of the world's most reliable memory and SSDs. Everything from select silicon to the finished product is tested, monitored throughout production, and tested again before it leaves our doors. Unlike third-party brands, we don't end assemble. We make everything from start to finish. That's quality you can depend on. Crucial desktop and laptop memory is one of the easiest and most affordable ways to improve performance. Designed to help computers run faster and smoother, Crucial memory is available for more than 100,000 systems in DDR to DDR4 technology, and it's easy to install. Load programs faster, increase system responsiveness, run data-intensive applications with ease, and multitask seamlessly. Crucial server memory is available in all form factors and all levels of memory technology, compatible with OEM servers and warranties, and manufactured to mission-critical standards. Servers fuel everyone in an organization. Since active data resides in memory, increasing a server's installed memory capacity is one of the easiest and most affordable ways to improve workload and organizational performance. Get more out of your server infrastructure by maximizing the installed memory capacity. Crucial SSDs are faster, more energy efficient, and more durable than hard drives. Booting up and accessing data on a crucial SSD is like flipping a light switch. It's almost instant and makes everything you do extremely fast. All of our SSDs are backed by hundreds of qualification tests and our free Crucial Storage Executive tool to ensure that you get the most reliable storage for your data.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and players around the world. We've got some Sunday night Dota action for you this evening. It is going to be the Ballistix finals of eXdee Gaming versus CarboN. It is going to be a hell of a game this evening. The winners of this best of three will be taking home themselves a epic 10,000 Rand in this little tournament of ours. So do stay tuned and let us see how the teams are going to pan out. I am Jabba. I'm joined by Scorpy. How have you been doing on this Sunday evening, my buddy?
Very good. A little bit tired. Had a wedding and no power for 3 days. So just coming out of the woods and back into some Dota. So let's hope I don't do too massive of slip-ups. So it's obviously a really, really important game. This, I mean, as you say, there's big cash prizes up for grabs and really two really strong teams in the SA scene, so it'll be interesting to see how it pans out.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, as things have started, I mean, there's huge bans already on the deck. There's already pickups that's already taken place. So let's jump into those rather quickly. But before we do, just to mention that APG and damage control are taking place for the third and fourth games at the moment. We'll try and keep you up to date with those as those games do pan out. But with that said, let's jump into this game. The bans have come out for eXdee. They've decided to ban out the Drow, the Mirana, as well as the Luna for the side of CarboN, banning out the Oracle, Morphling, and Kotl, leaving us with the draft, going with eXdee picking up themselves at Faceless Void, as well as the Elder Titan, and the Shadow Demon and Kunkka for the side of CarboN. Maybe you want to run us through a little bit of the synergy between these two teams thus far.
Yeah, I mean, both teams going for really strong openings here. A lot of synergy between the two heroes that were picked up. Shadow Demon Kunkka, very, very strong combination. A lot of control. It's maybe a little bit of a problem here for a Faceless Void. The Faceless Void, of course, a pretty solid combination with the Elder Titan. Sets up Chronospheres, or it could just be the Stomp post Chronosphere as well as the Split Earth. It's huge amounts of damage that can be dealt. So I really like it seeing the Odie pick up here. Interesting. I think they looking to use this Odie sort of as a safety net up against the Kunkka and the Shadow Demon, see if they can buy time in these team fights and maybe position themselves as well as Odie, pretty much a hero that dominates the mid lane. And I think eXdee, they put a lot of emphasis on the mid, make sure that he secures his farm and can make the rotations and see if they can pull the game, maybe, or get a couple of objectives early on. I haven't watched him play recently, so maybe they have changed the way that they play, but we'll see how it pans out.
Well, like you mentioned, the OT does really well up against the Shadow Demon just because he does so much damage to the illusions of the Shadow Demon. Generally, when the Shadow Demon's picked up, you generally see those like big cores coming out, generally like the anti-mage. The Luna's been banned out from eXdee already. So what kind of heroes do you think CarboN could actually now put the Shadow Demon, what could they couple the Shadow Demon up with to actually aid this lineup of CarboNs?
Well, there is still Terrorblade in the pool. I haven't seen a tremendous amount of games with Terrorblade SD lately. I suppose Morphling's gone. They did ban that one out themselves. The Luna was forced out. So I feel Shadow Demon. It's great to pair him up with a carry, but it's not necessarily the only way to play the hero. If you have the disruption for defensive or setting up fights, you can just draft the way you really want. It's a really solid all-round hero. It even sometimes forces bans on the opposing team, and you can really just absolutely catch them by surprise. Going to another point here, the Nyx Assassin, a great pickup. I really like this. Good up against the OD. Good at sort of dealing with his mana pool, which is always a major issue. And we'll see if it's going to pan out. Of course, Spike Carapace is always good. It's very good. It's easy to catch out the Elder Titan and buy your team a little bit of extra time. And Disruptor, I suppose they're looking for a little bit of their own control XD. They realize that I think CarboN's draft is looking good. They just need some really big closers here. And I think they'll have the dominant draft.
Well, looking at the Shadow Demon, I mean, he can be used as a very offensive and defensive hero. So even couple that up with whoever gets caught in the bubble can actually use them as a little bit of a saving grace to buy the person that's been caught in the bubble a little bit of time. But like you said, you need the big closers. Now, Kunkka, are we going to see him in the off lane, or do you think we're going to see him as one of those support kind of Kunkkas and allow the Nyx to actually do a lot of the roaming?
I think the Nyx is going into the off lane here. The Kunkka more than likely going to roam with the Shadow Demon. It's just too good of a setup to really say no to. So, I mean, they also got the Anti-Mage now. You did bring that up. Obviously, extremely good up against the OD as well. So, Disruptor is going to have a bit of a tough time there. So, interesting to see them let that through and opt to ban out the Invoker. But yeah, I think the Nyx is going to go into that off lane. It's going to be a bit of a tough time there for him. The Elder Titan hits really hard. It's a little bit of a tussle between the supports and him. I'm not sure who's really going into the safe lane as of yet. So, but I think you really can't say Kunkka going into the off lane if you have the combination of Shadow Demon Kunkka.
No, absolutely. Do you think it was a bit of a mistake from eXdee allowing the Anti-Mage through, or do you think they've got something up their sleeve to actually deal with the Anti-Mage, considering that they did pick up the OD that is a big Anti-Mage is a big counter towards the OD, or do you think they are more afraid of the CarboN Invoker?
Well, I think these teams definitely know each other better than we know them, and I can't doubt their banning. I don't think I can say that it was a mistake. Anti-Mage is just a scary factor, and they must have been aware of it potentially coming through. So having the Disruptor is actually a really good pickup before the Anti-Mage came through. So it maybe made CarboN think, oh, is Anti-Mage a great idea here? Because you blink away, Disruptor's going to bring you back and silence you up, and that's Anti-Mage's bane of his existence if he gets controlled like that. So I'm pretty sure eXdee were aware, and I mean, Disruptor pickup here, I think, was really solid for them. Disruptor, however's positioning is going to be absolutely vital to make sure that they can dominate. But going to the CarboN side of the page, the Anti-Mage, like I said, they just need a good closer. Anti-Mage, if he realizes that the fighting is not there for him, he can really go and split push out, get massive amount of farm, and maybe even look to pick up a BKB. I think then he'll be quite unstoppable. I know a lot of people don't like a BKB, but I feel that CarboN will just judge the tempo of the game and decide how that Anti-Mage is really going to build into the later stages.
All right, well, they have actually done the bans for CarboN. Before we talk about the pickup on the Night Stalker for CarboN, actually being the fifth and final pickup for CarboN, let's just jump onto the bans that have actually taken place already. Puck being banned out for eXdee as well as the Invoker, and then the Slark and Jug are being banned out for CarboN. So CarboN realizing that eXdee is looking for a core, assuming that the Faces is going to be probably running in the off lane, and you've got the two supports from eXdee, the Elder Titan and Disruptor, going to be a mid OD. So they're looking for the core carry now for eXdee. What do you think they could actually use that could actually deal with the lineup that CarboN's looking at the moment?
Well, I think eXdee are looking at this CarboN lineup, and they are actually caught by surprise here. I think it's going to be a Nyx in the mid lane and a Night Stalker in the off lane. They can more than likely find a couple of kills on the Night Stalker, and if they think they can hold on to that momentum, it's something that a lot of teams make a mistake with. They realize, oh, we can kill the offlaner, a couple of times, but it does. If you can't keep that momentum going, it's very easy for the opposing team to really find their way back in. So we'll see. I think eXdee have got a couple of windows open here. They're actually going for the Wind Ranger. It's going to be a safe lane OD, I feel. No, it's actually picked up by Soda, so it's actually going to be a safe lane Wind Ranger. That's very surprising.
They're probably looking at dealing out quite a bit of damage to the anti-mage, especially if she gets that latch off and actually secure her down. But that's pretty much going to tie up the draft for the two teams. eXdee as well as CarboN have now picked up their team, and this is what we're going to be going into game one of this Ballistix Masters final. We're glad that you guys did join us, and the game is underway, so let us go through and do the introductions so far. For the side of the Radiant, going to be played by CarboN, and the teams will be 100 on the Night Stalker. Just to remind you that these are not their official names. So we're going to have 100 on Night Stalker. We're going to have 5-4-0. Going to be playing our Kunkka. We've got Long Live Snacky. Going to be playing our Shadow Demon. The Anti-Mage is going to be played by XBFH. And last but definitely not least is going to be the Next Assassin on 289. That is going to round up the draft for CarboN. Please do the introductions for the side of eXdee.
Team barcode there. It's just numbers everywhere. But yeah, going over onto the side of the die, of course, eXdee. We're going to go by portraits, just to make it easier for yourself. We're going to have SpongeBob SquarePants, who is RDK, going to be over here on the Wind Ranger. The Faces for you going to be played by 225. That is his actual name. Nokia 3310, also known as Soda, I do believe, going to be playing over here on the OD. On the Elder Titan, we're going to have Mikasa. And last but not least, Impact going to be playing over here on this Disruptor. So, yeah.
Well, I'm very interested to see what the Night Stalker is going to actually go. We did mention that it may actually be a mid-Night Stalker. Do you think we're going to see him build into the Ags and then into the Gem of True Sight? What do you feel the item progression specifically on the Night Stalker is going to actually be?
I think, again, it's going to be determined on the tempo of the game. He could be going something like the Urn early on. He realizes, okay, we're dominating this lane. Let's make some quick rotations and put some pressure, because he does a massive amount of damage very early on. And with the first night time, it's quite a scary thing to deal with. So I think it's going to depend on how the mid lane's going. And I think going for the early Urn could pay off here for him. So I'm not too sure. I would lie if I told you I knew. Torrent's going to come out in the mid lane. It's not going to latch, but that's going to give the message to Soda that there are supports roaming around. He needs to be careful, and maybe he doesn't want to take this fight in the mid lane.
How do you feel this matchup in the mid's going to go? Do you think it's going to favor the Night Stalker or the OD?
I think the Night Stalker doesn't do too bad. He's going to find his farm. The big problem is you don't want to try and give too much intel over to the OD. These early stages, he'll find his farm. But like we said, he's going to hope to get that early nighttime rotation at the 4-minute mark and maybe find a couple of kills. That could put him in a really good position. Once that silence gets leveled up, Soda could find himself in quite a lot of trouble. They could even just make a good rotation on the mid lane and put some pressure onto Soda, and I think he can have a good time. Like I said, they've got great roaming supports in both the ST as well as the Kunkka, who work together so well. So we'll see if they will be able to pull off a successful one. But we actually see him deal decent amount of damage, and Nokia can pretty much do nothing about it.
Well, I mean, something that's been happening here in the mid lane is that the Kunkka has actually been missing quite a few of his torrents and not actually being able to catch out the OD. I think if he had able to maybe catch 2 or 3 of those torrents, that would be a definite disadvantage here for the OD. But missing all of his torrents thus far, maybe putting the Kunkka at a little bit of a disadvantage, especially considering that he's not getting any levels at the moment.
Yeah, it's a bit of a loss for him, but like I say, he's one of the heroes that are great at roaming, so he can potentially have a successful way of finding levels by just getting into a lane with the SD and pushing them out. But again, this means that there's a little bit of XP extra going to the Shadow Demon. The Anti-Mage is pretty much just having an absolute ball here, and it's pretty much it's fine for them. The OD's aware that there's constant pressure, the potential of the Kunkka always being there. He doesn't really show himself all that much in lane, so it's not too bad for them, even though he has missed a couple of torrents.
Yeah, well, then in that case, let's just jump to the bot lane. I mean, the supports here from the side of CarboN doing quite a bit of work here, making sure that the Anti-Mage actually picks up quite a bit of his last hits. Sitting almost the same as what the Wind Ranger is, although the Wind Ranger is sitting with 14 denies compared to the 3 of the Anti-Mage. Doing really well in her lane. RDK really showing the dominance here of the Wind Ranger. She's already building towards those phase boots and doing quite a bit of damage thus far, and going to be a little bit of a nightmare for the side of CarboN to deal with, I feel, but we'll see if they can actually get those good latches later in the later part of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Void is getting a little bit more than the Nyx, but nothing too substantial. I mean, Nyx hasn't reached level 2.
Oh, what in the mid lane?
The Void's definitely getting more.
Torrent does actually catch, but the prison does come down, trapping up the Night Stalker, and that is going to put the end to that chase there on the OD. The Kunkka trying to make something happen here in the mid, just can't actually get that done too well yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much what he hopes for. The SD's going to hang around in lane until you know you can absolutely secure that Anti-Mage is able to farm by himself. I mean, if the Void is left alone with the Anti-Mage is very easily going to lose out on a lot of last hits. Void, even though he took a little bit of nerf, lost a little bit of damage.
In the top river, 100, in a little bit of trouble here, but Mikasa, he's going to go down. First blood going in favor of 289. They're going to try and turn it around. Can they bring down Soda here on the OD 3310? They're not going to be able to get him as well, but definitely making it out there. The Shadow Demon picking up a kill in the bot lane on the Faceless Void. Didn't see how that panned out, but nice kills going on the board here for the side of CarboN, getting kills around the map. Things looking pretty good so far for the side of CarboN now, as they've got 2 kills on the board. Unfortunately missed the tail end of that fight there, but good job to the side of CarboN putting themselves on the board.
Yeah, some crazy ward being dropped here by the tower in the bot lane. But yeah, I mean, the SD, that's a really big kill. Interesting to focus on. Yeah, the Anti-Mage did get points into stats, so he's pretty tanky. I think they do realize that, okay, SD can roam out soon. Just make sure we secure 1 or 2 more extra levels over on this Anti-Mage, and he'll have an easy time finding the farm for himself. Looks like he's definitely going to be going for the Battle Fury, so if he gets that in good timing, eXdee are going to find themselves in a little bit of trouble, and I don't know if Anti-Mage is really the hero that is the answer to dealing with him.
Yeah, well, we're going to find out. Torrent does land on the OD in the mid. No follow-up there. And he's just building up. He's trying to build up those intel stacks there on the range creeps there in the mid lane. See how things do turn out. They're not really focusing too much on the lane. Kind of left RDK to his own devices. Just maybe keeping Nyx in this top lane, getting what XP he can. And see if he can start to... Are we going to see a Dagon Nyx this game, or do you think we're going to go more of that utility, maybe blink into Ether Lens? What do you have in mind for the Nyx to actually go building into?
I think blink into Ags is quite solid. I definitely think he wants something on mobility. If it's not a blink, it will be a full staff. He could even potentially go into drums or something. So it's one of the things. This is definitely going to be utility next. I think going for the Dagon would be a bit greedy, and they'll make him pay for that. So I do doubt it, but it's still an option. I mean, if they do have a sort of snowballing early game, if he gets that Dagon up, they could find a couple of objectives off the back of that. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's a no.
Alright, well, we'll wait. We'll stay closely attended to that. But yeah, in the mid lane, 3310, and the OD taking quite a bit of damage here from the Night Stalker, being able to just evade his damage there, being able to pick up that haste run, getting himself quite a little bit of speed there, and not being able to be brought down there from the Night Stalker. So the Kunkka, he's definitely hanging around the mid lane. They do want to try and keep this OD down. I do think it's the right game plan for the side of CarboN. They do know that if that OD does get a little bit of farm, it can actually really do devastation to their team, especially they don't have much intel on the side of CarboN, so that ulti is going to do huge amounts of damage later part of the game.
Yeah, but I mean, the Night Stalker's winning this lane, and quite comfortably. It's actually expected. He does fare pretty well here. He's extremely tanky, very mobile, and with a couple of rotations, it will mean that Odie's not going to overextend for any sort of kill, so really fall. And when nighttime comes, it's almost impossible to outlast hits a Night Stalker. So it's been a bit of a tough time here for Soda, but I mean, again, you make a good point there. There's very low insole stats on the side of CarboN, and they could pay a little bit there for that. But I think they've got very good tempo going so far, and I feel like their draft seems a bit better, in my opinion. I know my opinion doesn't mean all that much, but I do feel that they have the answers for this sort of time of the game and even going into the later stages. But Impact, he could find himself in some trouble here, but Soda going to be in the general area and get him out. Realizing now that Night Stalker is hitting really, really hard, and actually we're going to get a pause out now, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, how things have actually transpired thus far. Only 2 kills on the board. For those of you that have just joined us, this is going to be the first game of the Ballistix Masters. The prize pool for the winning team of this best of 3 is going to be 10k. The second prize is going to be a 5,000 rand as well. At the same time, APG and Damage Control are having their lower bracket finals taking place. Going to be playing for 3rd and 4th, and their prizes respectively are going to be 3,000 and 2,000 rand as well. So a nice little bit of prize money going to the teams that do manage to take home a victory. Obviously, if you're the winning team, you get a little bit more out on this lovely Sunday evening, and can maybe start building up themselves a little bit of a kitty towards their team, for their team.
Yeah, that's especially with Rage coming out. I'm sure they want to have some money in the bank. And I mean, it's a great incentive to have these tournaments with cash prizes. It's really showing the competitive scene in South Africa has grown. I mean, over the years, I think we've spoken about this so many times. Everyone who watches the cast probably get bored of it. But I mean, really big shout out to Ballistix for making this a reality and having these sort of prize pools and giving us this entertaining Dota.
No, absolutely. I mean, there's a couple of sponsors. We'll go through it during the end of the game, and all of them being able to put in a little bit just to help out the SA esports scene. I mean, it's going to be a big thing. Top lane. We've got RDK does be actually Disruptor getting the kill there on the next, but huge amounts of damage going out there from the Wind Ranger. Actually, quite a bit of abilities used here in the top lane. I mean, they used pretty much everything from the Wind Ranger as well as from the Disruptor, and not being able to stay alive from the side of CarboN, bringing down that Nyx. So at least in the top lane, RDK being able to get himself a little bit of himself there on the scoreboard in terms of assists. So I mean, things are not looking too bad so far for the side of eXdee in the bot lane. Anti-Mage being able to pick himself up the tier 1 tower, getting him closer to that blade mail. Now in the mid lane, we've got 100 going on to Soda. Soda is going to pay with his life. He does go down, was silenced up and couldn't actually escape. I assume that was actually a follow-up from a torrent that did come out. So those torrents can actually do quite a bit of damage once latched. Now Nick Sasson has actually been rendered up, does miss the spike. It doesn't latch. Now RDK is trying to get himself out of dodge, has no mana. The Disruptor does actually just TP out. The torrent's off the mark. They're going to try and find RDK. They do get it. Night Stalker brings it down. Aldertading in the back line's going to drop that Ancestral Spirit, but not going to be able to stun them out. And a nice amount of kills going for the side of CarboN, already putting them 4-1 at the moment. And yeah, a little bit of a good position we find ourselves for CarboN at the moment, getting themselves there on the board.
Yeah, that's really great. I mean, Night Stalker finding the haste rune, that's extremely clutch there to set up everything for them. He did not get any stacks on his own, which is maybe a bit unfortunate, but something I do want to point out is the duration of those silences just made it impossible for the OD as well as the Disruptor to stop this sort of rushing Night Stalker in your face. It's a scary factor that eXdee have to be aware of. Nighttime, that silence duration can reach up to 8 seconds. It's a massive portion of time. So, I mean, 225 taking a huge amount of damage here. Doesn't want to fight up against 100. 100 is in a comfortable position. And it's a little bit concerning here for eXdee.
Yeah, I mean, do you think they got a little bit of a timing window? But yeah, in the mid lane, 225 gets Vendetta out. That is good, holds him in place, and the kill going in favor of the Night Stalker. So they do get themselves another kill. Disruptor rotating in a little bit too late to actually. That is going to be one dead Faceless Void. Now, just before that fight broke out, I was asking, do you think there's a bit of a timing window here for eXdee? I mean, a fully fed Anti-Mage versus a fully fed OD or Wind Ranger. I mean, who does it favor the later this game goes on? Who sits with the advantage?
I feel far more confident with Impact's
Oh, in the
trouble.
mid
He's really
lane.
gonna get owned up.
He's going to get in huge amount of trouble. But the ball is good. And he gets caught out. The Disruptor does go down, but they manage to get themselves a return kill. Yeah, RDK finds the latch on the tree, and that is going to be a dead Night Stalker. So good rotations coming in here from the side of eXdee, being able to get that kill on the Faceless, or the Faceless Void, getting that kill on the Night Stalker, putting $662 in his pocket, and that is going to help him with his farm drastically.
Yeah, and it's the one hero that I feel is needed at this stage. If Faceless Void can get some sort of get his Vlads up or gets a Blink Dagger up, it will set up a lot more for eXdee and potentially for the later game. I think it was a little bit overzealous from the Night Stalker, but yet he still found the kill. So I do believe this as well. I hope I'm not wrong, but he's really been playing well. I think that was maybe the one mistake he's made this entire game so far, wrapping around, going for something so deep. Fully aware that really is going to be a couple of TPs on hand, so maybe just not really counting his chickens properly. But he has a Torrent ship follow up. 225's in trouble. He's silenced up, and he will get absolutely crushed. And really good play coming out from the combination between the Kunkka as well as the Night Stalker. The Windrunner is in the general area. And got that Mjolnir online, so she can deal a decent chunk of damage, but gonna opt to rather back himself on Admiral RDK, and it seems like it's a major victory here for CarboN.
I mean, and things are definitely... Let's just jump onto the grass before it looks like CarboN may actually be putting a bit of pressure on this tier 1 tower. But before that happens, they're going to make a play here on RDK. He runs into the bushes. They decide not to follow through. But there's the glimpse. It's good. He does actually get disrupted out. Going to miss a lot of that damage coming out from the Static Storm. But RDK putting on a huge amount of damage onto the Night Stalker. He does drop, getting a perfect ledge there onto the tree. And now the Wind Ranger is in hot pursuit, trying to find out the Shadow Demon, trying to get those little gaps there, trying to throw down that poison. And it's going to be 3 stacks on to the Wind Ranger. Don't think it's going to be enough to actually bring her down, but the Shadow Demon does drop, and 2 kills going in favor of eXdee at this point in time. Oh, maybe another 1 stack of poison would have actually brought down RDK on that Wind Ranger. Super unfortunate there for the side of CarboN, but eXdee doesn't seem like they're out of the game just yet.
Yeah, I mean, they've done a really great job at making these rotations. Just saying, oh, we're in trouble here, they're going deep, and punishing CarboN. And CarboN must be very careful here. They don't want to give too much away.
There's the
very good Torrent and ship.
boat, ship.
225, gonna take some damage. Oh, I think he gets away with this one, though. Oh, he gets the Chrono down, he catches 4, he actually hits the Spike Carapace. That might be a bit of a mistake, but he's gonna back himself on that now, and now it looks like Soda is probably gonna die. Oh, I think maybe a little bit of a misplay, but maybe he had to hang around there. It's a tough one to call. It's a very unfortunate situation there, and again, CarboN just catching eXdee now in a bad position. They take a great fight, and then they lose a very important hero, and they're leaving them in bad place. Meanwhile, mid lane, oh, the AM's gonna go down. This is huge. RDK finding that kill, and that's gonna be a lot of money going into a pocket of a hero that, if he does find the farm, he can potentially deal with this anti-mage, and any kill in an anti-mage is going to be
Well,
big.
they're going on
It's like
Impact.
they're gonna find a counter kill.
In the mid lane, Impact in a little bit of trouble here, but 289 is going to go down. So does this Disruptor. Night Stalker has been prisoned up here. They're going to try and see if they can get the kill on him as well. We've got RDK trying to just run around, deal as much damage as they can. The illusions from the OD are doing a... I suppose they're tickling at the moment. Doesn't have that Arcane Orb buff as well, so maybe just a little bit of a save there for the Night Stalker, making sure that he does get out there. So, I mean, we're at 16-minute mark into the game. We got a 10-6 at the moment in favor of CarboN, and eXdee doesn't seem to be giving up just yet. They've got, I think, all the tools they need to actually deal with CarboN. I mean, something we haven't even spoken about is if the anti-mage doesn't pick up an MKB, or if the Night Stalker doesn't pick up an MKB, that Wind Ranger is going to go pretty much uncontested generally in team fights, unless there's the magic damage that can be actually pulled out there from the side of CarboN. the Wind Ranger is going to have pretty much an easy game, an easy time of things, but they do spot out the Anti-Mage. The Thunder Strike is there. There comes the glimpse into the Static Storm. There's the Latch. It is good. Earth Splitter, not going to be needed, and the AM is brought down again. So nice little smoke gang coming out here from the side of eXdee, really throwing things back at the side of CarboN.
That makes me feel that eXdee are actually in this game. RDK is finding a lot more form than I would have expected him to. He's been finding successful kills around the map and actually setting this anti-mage back. So going back to the question you asked earlier, how they're going to fare up against this anti-mage. If he keeps on finding his farm, it's going to be great. But now, oh, great shackle glimpse. Whoa, that is a global glimpse. Very unfortunate. Saving the life there, I feel, impacted. Maybe a little bit of a misplay. And I think they should be backing themselves on out. But a little bit of a mistake, I feel.
Oh, well, I did see the TP. I was actually focused on the mid lane and then I saw the glimpse. But nonetheless, in the top Radiant jungle there by the Secret Shop, OD in a little bit of trouble. Yeah, has actually been... oh, and that is a dead Night Stalker as well as a dead OD. Being able to get their one apiece for each team. The winner out of that was the Nyx Assassin, being able to gain a little bit of XD out of that little engagement there. But in the bot lane, we do now have engagement here onto Long Live Snacky in the back lines. Boat does latch onto RDK. This could be a dead Wind Ranger. And she has one Wind Ranger run up and 5-4. Oh, can he find her? Try to juke around. He does actually find RDK. She does go down. So being able to now get 2 kills here for the side of eXdee, where the loss of the Night Stalker in the top lane was all what we were sitting with at the moment. So eXdee not out of it, but CarboN still holding the lead. I mean, I suppose quite comfortably.
Yeah, you can say that. I think the real lead, if I may say, in fact, mid lane might be in a little bit of trouble here. So to silence that, really good dodge by 100, and it does mean a space was bought there. Mikasa with a great stomp, and they are going to look for something. They do have Chrono up. That could have been a big play there, but good escape. And I mean, it just shows that they do have the answers to these heroes that are running into their face. If they do get that Older Titan stomped down, it makes life a little bit more difficult. Night Stalker does get kited around, so I think after the Sags, he will maybe be considering BKB.
BKB?
Yeah.
I suppose that's a good build. I mean, he does stand toe to toe with the OD as well as all the stuns and disable coming out from eXdee. So that could be a good build. I also feel that he needs to actually go MKB to actually deal with the Wind Ranger at the moment. As soon as she does actually get her Wind Run off, it is very difficult for the side of CarboN to actually deal with her. But a little bit of love being given here in the mid lane. 100 does get imprisoned up here, and it looks like they're going to try and trade towers here, as the majority of eXdee is focusing around this tier 1 tower here in the bot lane. In the top lane, CarboN is going to be able to get themselves a tier 1 tower as well. So the call is for both teams, let's just trade. Although we are getting a rotation in here from the Faceless Void, he's going to be actually trying to defend this tier 1 tower, and they actually are able to defend it, where eXdee was able to snack themselves up an easy tier 1 tower, pretty much undefended. So that is, I suppose, a good job to the side of eXdee, being able to hold into the tier 1 tower just a little bit longer. And I think it is confirmed the Nyx is going to be actually building into his Ag Scepter. He's short 2 components at the moment, but now in the top lane, here comes a big fight. X, Torrent, Disruptor, gets saved by the bubble just in time, but no, the spike from the Nyx is good. 2-5, he can't get out of there in time. Quantum lets that damage off. We've got the Anti-Mage in the backlines smashing away at the Elder Titan. Now RDK trying to find himself a kill. Anti-Mage jumps back in, gets that ulti off onto the OD, not bringing down the OD eventually. There comes the stun out from the Elder Titan. Nyx finds RDK, he does go down, and now 3 down for the side of eXdee. They're trying to find more. Can they find out the Elder Titan? Mikasa, he just stands there and he's going to take it. Nothing he can do, being surrounded by 4 of the players here from the side of CarboN. So out of that little tussle over there, only losing 1. And it was the Anti-Mage. A little bit of a big loss, but still trading a 1-for-3 trade. And that was both their safe lane and mid cores. So nicely done there from the side of CarboN.
Yeah, I mean, the Kunkka has just been pretty much the biggest pick here. I mean, he's provided so much in these team fights that eXdee might just be considering, all right, next time we see a potential team fight, we'd rather put an opposing lane and see if we can maybe find an objective or find some sort of exchange. The team fights are just very, very scary with the Kunkka as well as an SD who can really kite you around a lot. So it's a concern that eXdee are going to have. And again, the Wind Ranger, I said if RDK is able to find the farm, he can absolutely dominate this game. But he needs to make sure that this anti-mage doesn't get ahead of him or too far ahead of him in the upcoming couple of minutes of the game, as he's just going to be flash roaming through the jungle. Looks like Vlad's is on the books here for the anti-mage.
But the side of eXdee has actually smoked up. They do spot out the anti-mage. Not going to be able to actually get that shackle off him now. Nightstalker in hot pursuit. The disruptor does actually get silenced up. The X marks the spot's going to keep the disruptor there. He does go down. The latch was actually pretty good there on the Kunkka, but not going to be able to do enough. And now RDK in a bit of trouble now. He gets ulted down from the side of CarboN. AM, you little beaut, getting that kill there on RDK and putting themselves back on the board there. 18 and 9, 23 minutes in. We haven't even looked at what the XP and the gold graphs look at the moment. This is the net worth here for the two teams. CarboN sitting with plus 5,000 in the bank across the board for the side of experience, also sitting in favor of CarboN, and they're sitting with a 6,000 XP advantage. So the graphs are telling us a story as well as the board, and eXdee a little bit in trouble here. I mean, you want your cores to be doing a little bit more in team fights. Do you think that when the Wind Ranger actually picks up her eggs, it's actually going to be that moment when eXdee gets themselves onto the board, or do you think there's a bigger item? I mean, the Void's got his Vlads. He's probably trying to save up to his Blink. What is the item that is going to be able to put eXdee back into this game?
Oh, it's really tough to say. I mean, the Ag's up on the Nightstalker. Looks like he's going to be going into that BKB. Once that's online, he's going to be a frontliner who's going to be almost impossible to bring down. So for eXdee to really find something here, it's tough to say. It looks like BKB is also going to be the defensive item for the OD, so he's not going to have mobility like you would like. I'm not so sure. Maybe they're going to wait on the Blink on the Faces Void. If they have that, they can set up a really good Chronosphere, but the Kunkka's done a really good job.
Well, they find Soda in the dire jungle. He's going to go down. Not going to be able to do enough to actually keep him alive. 2 stacks of poison on him. Is it going to be enough? He actually imprisoned himself up. Is it enough to keep himself alive? The stacks are still there. He's able to actually bottle through it, and he's going to be able to stay alive there. So not being able to actually complete out that kill. We did get that rotation in there from the Disruptor, throwing down that Static Storm and keeping the teammates alive there. So they're trying to still make things happen around the map. It feels like CarboN's really trying to take the fight to eXdee at the moment. Do you think maybe CarboN's a little bit worried at the moment, or do you think they're just trying to create the space that the AM needs?
I don't think CarboN will be too concerned. I think they're in a very comfortable position. They're really controlling the tempo of the game. We saw eXdee really showing their concern when they had to fall into the jungle for a rotation. I did say it myself. I said you don't really want the anti-mage to get ahead of the Wind Ranger, and I think they did the right thing, but it just didn't pay off. They got caught with their pants down, and they lost 2, and at that stage, the anti-mage now is going to start to very quickly escalate with farm, with the Vlads online, and 1.9 in the bank. Once he does get that Mantis Sai up, then a large amount of trouble.
Well, I do have a question. I mean, sometimes we see the supports actually picking up the Vlads for their carry. Now, the Void being the Vlad's carrier for the side of eXdee, they've obviously chosen to let the Vlad's carrier for the side of CarboN be the anti-mage. How do you feel about this pickup? I mean, sometimes you'd rather want to maybe, you could put it on the Nightstalker, you could put it on the Kunkka, but they've chosen to put it on the anti-mage. Do you think this is a good choice, or do you think that he could have actually prioritized other items like his Manta that we spoke about? He's only now just gotten his ultimate orb. How would you think of this choice here?
I can agree with you, and I can also 100% agree with the anti-mage decision here to go for the Vlads himself. The Vlads does mean he can farm the jungle a little bit early on. He wasn't doing fantastically well when he did get picked off twice, and that was a period of time when he decided to go for the Vlads. And with that, it's been quite successful. And he's found a lot of farm. The stats are incredibly good. No one else would have really picked it up in this sort of timing. The Night Stalker would have had his goals. He went for the gem now, and more than likely into the BKB. So I do think it was the right decision.
Well, here we go. Big ship torrent onto the OD is out of the bubble. Beautiful chrono there from the Void. Does get a 3-man static storm into Earth Splitter. The Meta Void not good enough to actually bring down Soda. Now Anti-Mage dive deep, paying for his sins, but Torrent is going to be good catches out the OD. So far, a 2-for-1 trade. It's going to be now a 3-for-1 trade. Going in favor of eXdee. eXdee, how did you bring it back? And I think the little bit of a mistake there was the AM jumping a little bit too deep and being caught out there. I mean, they still had that Astral Imprisonment online as well as that bubble. And I mean, that bubble from the Void, I mean, that was spectacular.
That was beautiful. That was, I think, the first time they saw the Blink Dagger, so maybe Court of God, but 2-5 on point there. That's the type of Dota I want to see. And now they got the Vlads, straight into the pit. This is a really good time here for eXdee to pull this game, at least get some momentum for themselves. And the next, however, is in the Jets. Going to scout this out, and they got no sentries. Oh god!
Oh, can he steal it? Oh, can he steal it? Oh, this is going to be good.
You've got to be kidding me.
2-8. No, they dropped the dust! They dropped the dust. They find him out. But he's still got it. He's still snatched it. So he's going to be in a huge amount of trouble here for the side of eXdee. Not able to actually get that Aegis. And now he has the call for the rest of the team to actually follow up. CarboN throws down that huge man of Void here from the Void, picking up the kill on the Disruptor. And they may have been able to take down the Nyx. But the side of CarboN got the Aegis, got the kill on the Disruptor. So a beautiful little engagement there for both teams. The gold favoring eXdee a little bit. So does the XP, but I think that was just a morale win for the side of CarboN.
No, I think it was an all-out win. Unfortunately, the stats won't show us the amount of gold. He actually got the last hit on Roche, so he didn't snatch the Aegis. So 200 gold in all the pockets, which is not going to be shown there. So it's actually a substantial spike here for CarboN. So we can almost add 1,000 gold onto their side. So that was incredibly good play, or incredibly lucky. I mean, often you do expect someone to drop a sentry ward outside of the pit.
Mid lane.
Make sure that doesn't happen.
The Night Stalker does get bubbled up. The Earth Splitter does catch him. They're going to try and bring him down. He actually gets disrupted out there from the Shadow Demon. Night Stalker is going to stay alive just a little bit longer. 2-5 in a little bit of trouble. Does time lapse off half of that damage. He's going to be able to get out of there. And only the Night Stalker paying for his sins and dropping to the deck. And that is a dead Night Stalker. So eXdee still getting themselves a nice little kill there. Still quite a big kill lead here for the side of CarboN, sitting 20 and 14 at the, say, around about the 30-minute mark. Things looking pretty good here for the side of CarboN at the moment. I mean, the OD is actually gone for the Dragon Lance. They do actually now find the AM. He actually just ran into the side of eXdee here. And how do you feel? This is the first time I've noticed the Dragon Lance here on the OD. How do you feel about this pickup?
Yeah, it was the first item that he went for. I like it. I mean, you still get those strength stats. Getting a little bit of agi is really good. Again, it's a very cheap strength item. It also means he can stand at a really good gap between himself and the Chronosphere. That means it doesn't have to walk all that much closer. Can reach to the opposing side of the Chronosphere, so can get that extra little bit of damage down. And obviously, Forced Off is a great item on the OD, so it can obviously turn that into a single item later on into the game. So I like it. I mean, it was actually quite a common thing when it originally came out. A lot of people maybe not, or maybe just neglecting the item, but I do like it.
Well, he's also just gone and picked up his BKB now as well. So this is going to be a big team fight, the next one that we're going to go up against. The OD does have his BKB online, so that's going to change targets, I feel, for the Anti-Mage. Or do you think he's still going to try and focus out the OD as well, or do you think he's going to maybe put a little bit more pressure on the Disruptor as well as the Elder Titan?
I think the Anti-Mage, if he is going to join the fight, he's going to kill off anything as fast as possible, because once they do have that number advantage. They can spread themselves out and make sure they don't get caught out in a chronosphere. The main goal is to kill something very quickly, spread out, either waste the void rotation or maybe force them to only catch 2 in a chronosphere. But something else I want to point out is this older Titan is filthy, filthy rich. My word, he is very rich.
Oh wow. Force Staff, Veil of Discord, Midas, but that's the advantage of going with the Midas straight off the bat, being able to accelerate his farm. And I mean, even in terms of levels, I mean, he's sitting toe to toe with the levels of the Void.
Yeah, I mean, he's more wealthy than their mid laner at this stage, and it's actually looks like CarboN is in a bad spot here financially if we do look at those net worths. And I mean, they still got a lead, but they haven't really been able to extend it as much as it feels the margin they have. So I think CarboN, they need to be a bit concerned here.
They may be leading in kills in the early parts of the game, but like you mentioned, I mean, the networks do not lie, and only the anti-mage as well as the Night Stalker are sitting up there amongst the side of eXdee. Could be a little bit of a timing window that CarboN needs to actually close this out before it starts accelerating a lot. But as the side of eXdee is putting a little bit of pressure on this tier 2 tower top, Anti-Mage is putting pressure on their tier 2 tower there as well. He decides to blink out, cancels the TP there, and now the smoke has come up, maybe allowing Mikasa to be a little bit of bait here. We do catch out the Night Stalker. They do get him bubbled up. There comes the kinetic field, and he's going to hold him in place. Not necessary, as RDK does get that kill there on the Night Stalker. Nice little pickup from them. I think Night Stalker just a little bit out of position there. Considering that he actually did have... no, he actually lost the gem. When did he lose the gem?
Yeah, he lost it in the previous part. That's actually something I wanted to point out. I saw them drop the kinetic field around the high ground, and I was wondering what's going on here, and I realized, oh, they got the gem. So it's actually a massive victory here for eXdee. They've really done well. They're taking objectives. They've managed to get the gem. I think it was in the previous fight, so it wasn't. But in the last 5 to 8 minutes, eXdee have really been far more productive than CarboN. So again, CarboN must be a little bit concerned at this stage of the game.
No, absolutely. And then I mean, giving away that gem that allows eXdee to now actually hold the gem, puts Nyx in a little bit of more of a predicament. He has to be a little bit more cautious on the pickoffs that he wants to go for. Who's the gem actually sitting with, or it's actually on the Wind Ranger?
Wind Ranger, yeah. Wind Ranger's got the KB, the Ags. It's really RDK's in a comfortable position. I think a lot of people are looking at the items saying, where's the Blink Dagger? But I think going for the defensive BKB's paid off. They realize they've got the Chronospheres to set up. They don't need him to have to get there any quicker. So I like the optimization here by RDK.
Well, I mean, look, the Blink is not only for defensive and offensive plays, but I mean, to get into the correct position. I mean, if you can actually latch onto a tree or onto a allied unit, it allows that latch to be a lot longer. So obviously RDK having faith in his team to actually set up those positions to allow RDK to get into the correct position. Well, fair enough.
If you look at the lineup, there are pretty much 4 heroes that set up the arrows with the shackles for him. I mean, you get the imprisonment. I suppose Glimpse is a little bit more tough. The Chronosphere, of course, will set quite easily. And as well as the sleep that comes out from the Elder Titan. So I'm pretty sure they had a discussion and said, you know what, you don't need Blink. We're going to set it up for you, and you'll secure the kills. They've been playing together for so long. I think they have absolute trust when one of them say this. But, I mean, while we've been talking about this Anti-Mage has been doing a lot of work here with the split pushing, putting a lot of pressure and a lot of chip damage on this top tier 3 tower.
I mean, this is the way that the Anti-Mage gets played. I mean, generally we can see him play as a team player, looking for fights and just farming. But now with his Manta up, he becomes a lot more of a problem for the side of eXdee.
Mid lane.
Or in the mid lane, they do have the Earth Splitter, but not going to be good enough. The BKB does come out here for the Night Stalker, and he's just going to be able to get himself out of dodge. A lot kind of expended to kill the Night Stalker, and not much gain from it.
I suppose it's also Sensei can BKB down, but yeah, Chronosphere going down, as well as the ultimate from the OD, which was very, very underwhelming. Again, the OD is in a very tough spot here. He hasn't really found the kind of farm he would have liked, but quickly catching up. Now got the full staff on hand. The mobility, that extra little bit of mobility is going to be on hand. So I like it. He's definitely going to start to swing himself back into this game a little bit. And again, I feel like eXdee have got the momentum sitting behind them here. And CarboN, they're in trouble.
All right, well, I mean, that is a big pickup here for the OD. That 4-staff, just getting him in and out of battles a little bit quicker. It looks like the side of CarboN actually wants to go here. The Nokia has been silenced up. He's been found out there from the iPhone, and now Anti-Mage is trying to get himself out of dodge there. The kinetic field is being dropped just to hold those illusions in place, I guess. And the whole side of eXdee is sitting behind the tier 2 tower at the moment. We do have the Nyx actually scouting out the position here of the CarboN, but they do actually spot out the Nyx into the static storm, into the kinetic field. It's going to be enough to actually bring down the Nyx quite easily, but now the call is to jump in. I am jumping onto the OD. OD saving himself, forcing himself out of there, and now the call is to turn onto RDK. He able to actually latch up the Kunkka, and the Manta coming out from the Anti-Mage, trying to get that damage onto all the players at the moment, and Mikasa just running around trying to see what he can actually stun out. So, I mean, a little bit of a disruption there, but now beautiful latch coming out from the Wind Ranger, bringing down that Anti-Mage rather easily. Torrent just going to be keeping RDK in place, not going to do too much. They are going to try and chase down the rest of the team here from CarboN, and the Kunkka is the next one in pursuit here, and they're not going to actually be able to find him or the Nyx. And super unfortunate that the Nyx was actually spotted out, but with the gem on RDK, just made easy work of that. With the back of that, they're going to be able to jump into the Rosh pit. Anti-Mage is down. They're not going to be able to actually contest this. And like you said, CarboN in a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, this is a massive victory here for eXdee. They're going to be able to find this Rosh round. I'm sure they're not going to get caught out this time again. I think a massive misplay coming out from 289, hanging around behind the tower, knowing they have a gem. I'm not too sure what the thought process was there. Maybe I actually don't know. It was a very, very unlikely situation for him to get out of. Maybe hoping the team would have reacted a little bit quicker, but I mean, the Wind Ranger is just dealing so much damage. There's absolutely no way he was going to survive there. And I mean, finding a Roshan, buyback as well being forced by the Nyx, it's a lot of gold that has now changed pockets.
Yeah, no, that's a big, big swing. Let's just, while they're taking this tier 2 tower and CarboN is unable to defend it at the moment, I mean, if you look at the net worth, it's almost back to zero. I mean, eXdee's completely brought this game back in their favor. And XP only sitting about 2.5 in favor of CarboN. So things are looking a little bit in trouble here for the side of CarboN here.
Absolutely. And, I mean, if you look at the actual net worths, it's very top heavy. It's only the Nightstalker as well as the Anti-Mage. If one of them die, the side of eXdee will absolutely just overrun the rest of CarboN, so it's a massive concern for them. And now actually an Orchid coming out for the Wind Ranger. This is really, really big. They're going to have a very tough time bringing it down. I
mean, and pretty much uncontested tier 3 tower dropping here in favor of eXdee. RDK just right-clicking that tower, putting the ult on there, that focus fire, destroying the tower rather quickly, and can't even do anything about it, CarboN, and they don't know what to do at this point in time. They're looking at putting pressure on these Raxes. There comes the next focus fire, silence up onto RDK. There's the Lotus Orb. She's going to be able to get herself out of dodge. The Torrent does find 2 to 5 in the backlines, and now we've got the illusions from the Anti-Mage actually running forward, trying to just push this team out. And maybe the call to retreat, as RDK's got maybe a 10th HP, and she actually does a TP to the bot lane just to clear out that push at the bottom. And now just looking at the itemization here for the OD, getting herself that Hurricane Pike. How you feel about this little pickup here for the OD?
Oh, it's great. I mean, we spoke about it. I think maybe wanted to get a different item here in the place, maybe a Shiva's or something like that. But I mean, going for the Hurricane Pike, a very low cooldown on the 4-staff, having that extra mobility, it's always extremely good. And of course, it means one less slot. He's got the Blink Dagger now as well, so mobility is
top lane though. We got Aldertard, and he's going to drop, being found out here from 3 from CarboN. Now they're going to try and chase down the OD. BKB up from Soda. The call is to turn. Got the Void catching out the Night Stalker. It's going to be good, but Torrent is going to catch out the Void. The disruption is good from the Shadow team, and that is a dead Void. big Mana Void coming out there from the Anti-Mage, and now it is time for eXdee to actually get themselves out of dodge as the pressure is coming on here from CarboN in this top lane. Do they have enough to actually bring it down? 2 are down for the side of eXdee. Only buyback available on the Void, and they're going to maybe try and force maybe at least a little bit of a buyback here from Void, even though his chrono's down. Would you call the buyback, or would you say save it? There's nothing we can do at the moment. Rather get items.
I would rather have the older side, but he doesn't have buyback on hand, so I think there's no real purpose here for them to actually force that buyback out. Without the Chronosphere, I think that Chrono was a little bit of an error. I'm pretty sure he's kicking himself right now at home about this error, but at the end of the day, there's not much he can really do about it. They still have the Aegis on the Wind Ranger, so I don't think CarboN are going to commit too much to the high ground. We see them just sending up these illusions, but I think it's a good enough win, and CarboN are going to go back and set themselves up to maybe find a little bit of extra farm, which has been their problem on the rest of the team. They just a little bit behind, and if they can find the farm, they're going to find themselves back into this game. So next, he's desperate to find farm, as well as the Shadow Demon is in a bad place. So it's okay. This was a perfectly good exchange for them.
Well, the Shadow Demon's actually also just picked up his Blink now as well, so that's going to give him further mobility to allow the team to actually jump in, get that pick off that they need, and then move from there. And if they get a nice big pick off in terms of, say, the Wind Ranger, who would you target as a Shadow Demon if you wanted to be offensive? Do you target the Void so that those illusions can do that right click damage? I mean, he doesn't have really great right click damages for the eXdee, for the side of eXdee. I suppose maybe the Wind Ranger is one of the options.
I think not Wind Ranger, because of the BKB has obviously got Aegis at this time, but I mean, you're talking about in the rest of the game. The BKB is just a major concern for them, because Wind Ranger almost becomes entirely invulnerable unless you have an MKB.
Oh, but RDK gets blown up. A little bit of a misplay there from RDK. Not actually being able to follow up, and nowhere 289 is on the next, and that was a little bit of an error coming out here for the side of eXdee. And now the chase is on. We've got the Anti-Mage blinking forward. Not going to be able to actually find too much after that, but beautiful play there coming out from CarboN, just catching out RDK. And I mean, his BKB was online, but now the Titan as well. A little bit, I don't know why he was actually hanging around there. He's actually going to probably play with his life here. No, he's able to actually get out there from his teammate Impact, just being able to hold the onslaught here from the side of CarboN at bay. And now let the siege begin here with the side of CarboN, using their illusions to maybe try and get a little bit of chip damage here on this tier 3 tower.
CarboN, man, they were looking at that clock and knowing exactly when that Aegis was going to time out. That was something for the highlight reels. It literally timed out the moment he died. That is so unfortunate there for the Wind Ranger, and that death has now cost them quite a lot. I mean, that's 2 consecutive fights going the way of CarboN, and they're finding this extra bit of gold and putting the extra chip damage on the towers. It's very concerning now for eXdee. So a very, very nice seesaw game we have here, and it could just go either way.
I mean, hasn't been the first game that I've actually witnessed where they actually sent up the Aegis carrier onto the higher ground to actually tank out a lot of the abilities from the opposing team. This is now the second game that I've actually witnessed where it was basically seconds when the Aegis actually times out and actually completely throws the entire game dynamics in completely an unfavoring direction. But here we go in the bot lane. They do find out RDK. Static Storm is going to catch them out. There's the BKB. Bubble is good. Not going to be able to catch him out, but holding the rest of the team of CarboN at bay, and being able to pick themselves up a kill there on the next assassin. I mean, things are going backwards and forwards here. I mean, the kill difference now is only 5. It was a massive 9 at one point. So the side of eXdee really doing good work here and getting themselves back into the game. Only the Anti-Mage is sitting top of the logs, followed by the Wind Ranger, then by the Night Stalker, and then the 3 other players here from the side of eXdee. So eXdee doing really well to make sure that they're getting enough farm on the rest of the team and not just on their cores. Do you think it could bite CarboN in their tuchas a little bit later?
Yeah, it really could, and obviously a very important pickup here is having the Aghanim Scepter over on the Pace's Void. Low cooldowns on their Chronosphere means high ground is always going to be a very, very difficult task. But they're doing the chip damage, but again, they have a very good answer with the OD. You can just get rid of these illusions at very high pace, just due to the damage that it deals to summoned units. So, I mean, eXdee, they have all the answers. I just feel like once or twice in this game they've lost a couple of fights that they shouldn't have, and CarboN are grasping onto this game, and they could very quickly find themselves in a very comfortable position. So eXdee, they must be on their toes here, make sure that they don't make too many errors, but I still feel that they have a slight upper hand.
Well, they've actually smoked up. They actually do spot out RDK. Farfo gets that X torrent, does miss, but the bubble is good, catches out to the Kunkka, but the disruption is better. The static storm is down now, going to keep him in place for just a little bit longer. The Earth Splitter does catch him out, but then RDK does bring down the Kunkka. Now the Nyx has actually been buried over there. Now AM putting a bit of pressure here onto the RDK, changes targets. The big Sanity clips coming out from the OD, but he does drop eventually. Nightstalker bringing down the disruptor in the backlines. There comes the disruption out here from the OD, from the Shadow Demon, trying to catch out RDK, and she's just going to TP out. Is it going to be enough? And no, it's going to be enough. We got the illusions from the Shadow Demon being able to bring her down as she's trying to TP out. Now Mikasa in a little bit of trouble. Yeah, he's not going to be able to stand it up and actually get out of damage, get out of dodge. And that little Shadow Demon, best pickup of the night.
I think RDK has to have a long talk with Caven. He died in base, man. He died in base. He got away, and the right clicks hit him. It must have been literally the same moment that he TP'd out. That's twice now that things have just really not gone his way. Aegis expiring literally split seconds before his death, and this time dying in base. I'm so sure he is kicking everything in his room at this time.
I mean, how do you? But I mean, that's also another thing: is never underestimate the illusions of the Shadow Demon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, this
it's again, we're just going back to the Shadow Demon points and how good of a pickup it is. The disruption is the best scaling ability in the entire game, almost. I think there's a couple that really match it, but the stronger any heroes get, the stronger he gets. So it scales
really well
through the game. So it's
top lane. Top lane, RDK trying to find out a kill here. Farfoy deciding to turn things around. X has been used up on RDK. Does BKB up? Now she's on the chase. There comes a defensive disruption from the Shadow Demon. And going to be able to... It was actually on the OD. Now Anti-Mage has got her claws into RDK. Brings her down rather easily now on the back lines. Trying to chase him up. Nightstalker trying to bring down Soda. The Static Storm is not good enough. Neither is the Kinetic Field. Has to use Blink to get him back into that ulti. Now AM trying to work on impact over here. The disruption is going to keep him in place. There's no TP for you, my friend. And the Star Trek USS Enterprise is down, and you can't bring me back to base. Now the side of CarboN putting a lot of pressure here in the top lane, and this could even translate into a little bit of Erexia. They do only have buyback onto the Faceless Void. Probably try and drawing that out. He does actually have Bubble online, so he may actually have to buy back at this point.
Yeah, this is now CarboN just absolutely dominating. I think eXdee just feeling like they were under pressure. I don't think that they should have, but they definitely paying for their indiscretions right here.
Well, I mean, this was a big mistake. I think it all started with RDK trying to jump into the Kunkka, but CarboN was in very close proximity, being able to return and turn that team fight in favor of CarboN. And now it's actually going to potentially translate into a top Rex being taken here for the side of CarboN. We've got 5 seconds, 4 seconds on the Void buyback, all coming back to life. They do get the OD. The Void is back in pursuit. RDK back in 1 second, but this is going to be a lane of Rex here for the side of CarboN. Getting that melee Rex as well. The range still managing to survive, but nice ledge coming out from RDK. He's going to work on the on the Night Stalker, but beautiful disruption coming out there from the Shadow Demon, keeping his team member alive there now. And now Kunkka in the eyes of the Wind Ranger, not being able to latch anything onto the anti-mage there. Can the Wind Ranger find anything? He does. Lost hit onto the Kunkka. RDK getting himself a kill there, but there comes the Abyssal from the AM, trying to keep his teammates alive. The Lotus Orb actually being used up. Now Mikasa, the choice of the meal for this evening. There's the glimpse, and that is super unfortunate for the AM. He actually blinked, glimpsed, and X, I think, was even used up. And now they're going to look at moving into the mid lane now as well. There comes the disruption, the aggressive disruption, doing so much damage onto the tower. The stomp has been cancelled, but look at this. AM Illusions just do so much work, actually having to use that stomp just to keep them in place. RDK cleans up Shadow Demon rather easy. That's easy meat. That was just a snack for the RDK, and the call is to retreat. We've got Anti-Mage just cleaning up the bushes as he retreats back to his side of the jungle, and that was a long and excruciating battle for the side of eXdee, now putting themselves at almost a 9 kill advantage here for the side of CarboN. This is massive. At one point, they were actually looking so good, and then just off the back of that one kill in the top lane led to this like domino effect.
Yeah, look at the net worth chart, man. Oh!
Oh, the mist!
Oh, the chrono!
Oh! This is not the time of the game. This is not. Yeah.
That is very unfortunate. But again, looking at those charts, it's just a massive margin that CarboN just took in a very short space of time. And now, I now don't see a glimmer of hope for eXdee. And I really thought they had all the momentum. I just think they became overzealous. They went too deep in. They felt that they needed to rush something. I don't think it was necessary. And all trumps to the side of CarboN for just being so patient. I think patience is the reason why they're winning this game. They never did anything if it was unnecessary. They took their picks where it was where they saw an opportunity, and they're doing extremely well due to that.
Well, I mean, okay, so now the way that this game is going at the moment, I mean, things are looking really good for the side of CarboN. We thought that they had a little bit of a timing window and could have been in a little bit of trouble. Do you think that maybe it was all... But yeah, the bubble's going to be good. Catches out Falfo. There's the defensive disruption from the Shadow Demon. Doing so much good work this game. Being able to just keep his players alive for so long. But Falfo does actually get taken down from a good latch from the Wind Ranger. And makes easy meat of him there as well. So, I mean, if eXdee keep on getting these nice little pickoffs, could actually put CarboN back on the back foot.
Yeah, but now... the anti-mage has picked up MKB. The Wind Ranger can't fight him anymore. Doesn't have that extra time period to really put XBFH in some sort of tough position. So he's also got a BKB, which we spoke about in the draft. He got a lot earlier than I did expect it, but I did expect a BKB anti-mage. And I mean, he's really playing extremely well. He's got 10k margin over the opposing team. He's in a very comfortable position.
No, absolutely. Oh, nothing transpired there. They do find the disruptor. Anti-Mage has now been trapped under the static storm. Can he find more? He's going to be brought down. The gem is on the deck. A good kill there from RDK, being able to find him out. Now 2-5, trying to smash it down the Night Stalker. Now we've got the Nyx being spotted out there. He does fall. The Soda doing so much damage at this point in time. Now Nightstalker trying to get himself out of a little bit of a precarious position. There comes the Astral Imprisonment. Will keep him in that position. RDK lining up for the shackle. Busy right-clicking creeps RDK. He says farmers too more important. And Odie picking up that kill there for himself. And as that's all happening, the lane in the top is being pushed in. RDK TP's back to actually just equalize that lane a little bit. So, I mean... now, what are we looking at? I mean, CarboN was sitting with a drastic advantage, and all of a sudden we have like a 5k gold difference. XP going back to almost 5k.
Yeah, this is a really, really good position now for eXdee to maybe mount a counter initiation. But again, it seems like CarboN, they are very patient. They're not going to overextend again. I think it was a nice little trap there. Very good chronosphere once again from 225 to secure the kill on the anti-mage. He got BKB off, so that was a wasted charge of BKB.
But aggressive play here from Soda, jumping straight into the base, bringing down the Shadow Demon quite quickly. Now Kunkka actually being stunned up there. Going to hold him in place with the bubble, committing the bubble to just the Kunkka. And now only the Nyx is running around live. We've got buyback available in the Night Stalker. The Anti-Mage is back in the fray. Night Stalker's back in 5. They're going to get the mid lane of Rax, trying to put pressure in the bot lane as well. eXdee cleans out that tier 3 tower really quickly. Nyx trying to get out of him, get himself out of dodge. And he does get glimpsed back into the fray. He's going to go down. Can Anti-Mage do enough to keep this team at bay? The Earth Splitter, it's going to catch 2. Night Stalker and Anti-Mage going to be slowed up for the moment. They only get the tier 3 tower in the bot lane, but they do get themselves that mid lane of Rax. At this point in time, things are looking tie in terms of objectives. And CarboN need to kind of reevaluate how they want to actually take these team fights. They do find the Nyx. What a latch from RDK, and that is now 3 down for the side of CarboN. This is going to maybe open them up here for this lane of Rex. This is huge for the side of eXdee. Oh, the bubble. Now the bubble's coming into play. The Night Stalker is going to go down. Only the buyback is going to be used up here for the Night Stalker. We do have the Anti-Mage jumping onto RDK. RDK does actually BKB up. Going to try and get himself out. He is going to go down. The melee Rex needs 1 hit to actually bring it down. Now we've got Anti-Mage blinking forward, trying to bring down Mikasa, stunning it up. His BKB is going to be good, keeping him alive. The TP going to not be good for impact. He's going to be held in place. And Anti-Mage going to pick up that kill on the Elder Titan now as well. So, I mean, CarboN coming back to the fight, being just as aggressive. We got a TP in here from the Anti-Mage. He's going to TP straight into the mid-Rex and trying to put a bit of work in there, forcing 2 buybacks here from the side of eXdee. The Wind Ranger and the Elder Titan. This is big plays here coming out from the boys on the side of eXdee. And just for the matter of using his BOTs, getting 2 buybacks, that's a massive win here for the side of CarboN.
Yeah, 7-slotted Anti-Mage. Now it's just a question of time. I mean, unless they're able to kill him twice, because he's more than likely going to have buyback the next time. He still does have buyback. This is a tough situation for eXdee. They did, however, I feel, do the right thing. They just didn't win the fight. Maybe hung around a little bit longer than they should have in the bottom. But I think they were caught off guard maybe by the SD's Aghanims. That was absolutely huge. It killed RDK and it forced the other 2 that were trying to retreat to have no chance of getting away. It's a really big pickup here for the SD. Having those extra charges, those 3 charges, is really detrimental here for eXdee.
Especially if it allows him to actually get those stacks up. It does so much more work. So, I mean, we're sitting at the point where things can go either way. The X is going to be being used onto the Kunkka, just trying to get himself in, clear those creep stacks. And now the illusions for the Anti-Mage is going to be running in there. The OD is alive, so the chip damage is going to be very little. And not going to be doing the amount of work that they wish it could be doing. So I suppose the OD was pretty good, but there comes the bubble, going to catch out the Anti-Mage, but good disruption from the OD. The Anti-Mage very low HP and going to go down to the 1 right click here of Nokia 3310. The X is going to be used, and the Nyx in a little bit of trouble, does go down. RDK gets a pistoled up. He's held in place. She is down for the count. And now Anti-Mage jumping onto Mikasa in the back lines. Going to get the Elder Titan. Turning his focus now onto the Void. We've got he changes targets onto the OD. Triple kill going in favor of the Anti-Mage. Can he pick him up, self up and Ultra? He does. Bringing down the Disruptor. The Rampage is so close. Come Void. Come to the fray. Give the Anti-Mage the Rampage. And that is going to be a mid lane of Rex down, pushing down the tier 4 towers. The ulti from the Night Stalker is going to be popped. And now the 2 players here for the side of eXdee just hiding in their base, waiting for this onslaught to be over. And there it is, the last hitting onto the main throne. This is going to probably put our game 1 at rest, but no, 2-5, trying to get back in things. Misses the chrono onto the Anti-Mage. X is going to hold the Void out of place, but the tower is going to go down, and that is it. Good game, well played, going in favor of CarboN. I mean, they did really play really well in the beginning, getting that farm up, getting those objectives that they needed, and eXdee doing a huge amount of work to bring themselves back in it, just didn't have enough. But how did you feel that game went?
Yeah, well, it was very important thing to notice there is that CarboN had a major lead, and eXdee did an extremely good job to find themselves in a comfortable position where they looked like they were going to take this game. Particularly from our perspective, I felt that they have this if they just don't make errors, and I think maybe they I tilted a little bit, got caught off guard, lost a couple of team fights, and from there the game absolutely snowballed out of control. CarboN showing brilliant patience, and at the end, I think they absolutely deserve this victory. However, eXdee, I mean, these are two top-class teams. Game number 2 is going to be just as much drama, I can almost assure you.
Well, there you have it. This is going to put game 1 to rest. We're going to jump into game 2 very shortly. We're going to leave you with a couple of adverts, but do join us for this beautiful finals of the Ballistix Masters Cup. Remember, the winner walks home with 10,000K in their pocket. So is it going to be CarboN? They're one game away, or could it be eXdee with 2 games in a row that they need to win? So do join us then, and do join us for game number 2. Until we see you next time, good night, yes, and God bless.
Crucial Ballistix gaming memory delivers the seamless performance and instant responsiveness you need for total domination. With Ballistix gaming memory, you get faster speeds, lower latencies, and aggressive heat spreaders. Advanced features such as LEDs, low-profile modules, and real-time temperature monitoring let you customize your rig further. Ballistix modules are available in DDR3 and the latest DDR4 technology, which is faster, has lower voltages, and greater capacities than DDR3. Choose your level of performance with Sports, Tactical, or Elite series, and crush the competition with Ballistix. Accelerate nearly everything on your rig with a crucial SSD. Slash load times. Get into your game faster and access files, games, and apps almost as soon as you click on them. Choose the form factor that's right for your build and destroy the competition with the power and acceleration of a crucial SSD.
Crucial is a brand of Micron, one of the largest memory manufacturers in the world. We leverage more than 35 years of expertise to create some of the world's most reliable memory and SSDs. Everything from select silicon to the finished product is tested, monitored throughout production, and tested again before it leaves our doors. Unlike third-party brands, we don't end assemble. We make everything from start to finish. That's quality you can depend on. Crucial desktop and laptop memory is one of the easiest and most affordable ways to improve performance. Designed to help computers run faster and smoother, Crucial memory is available for more than 100,000 systems in DDR to DDR4 technology, and it's easy to install. Load programs faster, increase system responsiveness, run data-intensive applications with ease, and multitask seamlessly. Crucial server memory is available in all form factors and all levels of memory technology, compatible with OEM servers and warranties, and manufactured to mission-critical standards. Servers fuel everyone in an organization. Since active data resides in memory, increasing a server's installed memory capacity is one of the easiest and most affordable ways to improve workload and organizational performance. Get more out of your server infrastructure by maximizing the installed memory capacity. Crucial SSDs are faster, more energy efficient, and more durable than hard drives. Booting up and accessing data on a Crucial SSD is like flipping a light switch. It's almost instant and makes everything you do extremely fast. All of our SSDs are backed by hundreds of qualification tests and our free Crucial Storage Executive tool to ensure that you get the most reliable storage for your data.
Crucial Ballistix gaming memory delivers the seamless performance and instant responsiveness you need for total domination. With Ballistix gaming memory, you get faster speeds, lower latencies, and aggressive heat spreaders. Advanced features such as LEDs, low-profile modules, and real-time temperature monitoring let you customize your rig further. Ballistix modules are available in DDR3 and the latest DDR4 technology, which is faster, has lower voltages, and greater capacities than DDR3. Choose your level of performance with Sports, Tactical, or Elite series, and crush the competition with Ballistix. Accelerate nearly everything on your rig with a crucial SSD. Slash load times, get into your game faster, and access files, games, and apps almost as soon as you click on them. Choose the form factor that's right for your build and destroy the competition with the power and acceleration of a crucial SSD.
Crucial is a brand of Micron, one of the largest memory manufacturers in the world. We leverage more than 35 years of expertise to create some of the world's most reliable memory and SSDs. Everything from select silicon to the finished product is tested, monitored throughout production, and tested again before it leaves our doors. Unlike third-party brands, we don't end assemble. We make everything from start to finish. That's quality you can depend on. Crucial desktop and laptop memory is one of the easiest and most affordable ways to improve performance. Designed to help computers run faster and smoother, Crucial memory is available for more than 100,000 systems in DDR to DDR4 technology, and it's easy to install. Load programs faster, increase system responsiveness, run data-intensive applications with ease, and multitask seamlessly. Crucial server memory is available in all form factors and all levels of memory technology, compatible with OEM servers and warranties, and manufactured to mission-critical standards. Servers fuel everyone in an organization. Since active data resides in memory, increasing a server's installed memory capacity is one of the easiest and most affordable ways to improve workload and organizational performance. Get more out of your server infrastructure by maximizing the installed memory capacity. Crucial SSDs are faster, more energy efficient, and more durable than hard drives. Booting up and accessing data on a Crucial SSD is like flipping a light switch. It's almost instant and makes everything you do extremely fast. All of our SSDs are backed by hundreds of qualification tests and our free Crucial Storage Executive tool to ensure that you get the most reliable storage for your data.
In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and Dota players around the world. We're in game number 2 of the eXdee vs CarboN Ballistix Masters Finals. This could be the last game if CarboN is able to snatch up game number 2. They did give us a great game in game number 1. Unfortunately, eXdee not being able to bring home the bacon this time around. But can they do it in game number 2? We will stay tuned and find out shortly. This winner of this best of 3 is going to be able to walk away with 10k gold, and the runners up will walk away with 5k gold. I am Jabba, and I am joined by Scarpy, both from NAV TV. We hope you're doing well on the Sunday evening. Do tell us how you found game number 1 there, my bud.
Yeah, well, game number 1 was, I mean, the truest form of entertainment. That's exactly what we came to watch, and both teams just putting on a great display. CarboN just showing a little bit more patience and pulling themselves through. And again, I can't emphasize, both these teams are well versed with playing with each other. They've been around for as long as I can remember. Not really, but they've been around for a significant amount of time. So we do expect the best quality of Dota, and that's what we got. And CarboN, they came out ahead, but game number 2, I'm almost certain is going to be as entertaining, if not more.
Well, I think they've sussed out each other and really figured out each other's play steps. I mean, allowing the anti-mage through with the Shadow Demon in the draft for the side of CarboN put eXdee a little bit on the back foot. But this time round, the bans have come out, and this time CarboN deciding to ban out the Shadow Demon as well as the Morphling. For the side of eXdee, banning out the Drow and Mirana. Not wanting to deal with either of those heroes, and I still feel that a lot of teams struggle to deal with the Morphling. So banning out the Morphling, a decent ban. But now, as the draft is 2 picks in, we've got the Faceless Void as well as the Death Prophet for eXdee, and CarboN opting to go for the Oracle Sand King. Generally, we see teams picking up Sand King for the off lane. Do you think it's going to be the same here for CarboN?
Yeah, it's more common, I feel, the Sand King. It does really well in lane. It means eXdee has to think really carefully now as to what safe lane they're going to put in. Sand King sort of works in the same manner as Darkseer, that if you aren't able to evacuate him from lane, any melee sort of carry is going to have a very tough time in that situation. So, yeah, I'm more than likely going to be going on to the off lane. eXdee getting the Faceless Void, though, that is something really to talk about. I mean, 225, I feel, is probably one of the better Faceless Voids in South Africa. At this time, I always enjoy watching him play. And we saw him really land some very, very impressive chronos in the previous game. And I do expect the same this time around. So I think the draft, it's looking more comfortable for eXdee. But an Oracle is also just such a good hero. It's tough to say which way it's going from this opening.
Well, we do know that the Death Prophet, like coupled up with that bubble, does just so much damage, especially with that Exorcism up, doing so much damage. This time round, though, just looking at the bans that are coming out, banning out the PA as well as the Anti-Mage. Some big heavy hitters there for eXdee banning out. Do you think that the only reason why CarboN picked up the anti-mage was because of the Shadow Demon, or do you think eXdee now feels that they're going to use the anti-mage as something else? Because remember, something else that really goes well with Oracle is a Husker. Husker's still in the pool, could still be picked up here for the side of CarboN, and I don't feel they've addressed that enough, unless they may be hoping that the bubble is enough of a deterrent.
Yeah, I can agree with you there. The Husker gets picked up here, eXdee are going to be in a little bit of shambles, but it's actually going to be the Juggernauts. And again, it doesn't mean that this is not going to be a mid lane Juggernauts and they can still go for the Husker. So again, CarboN might just pick it up in that 4th pick. I do agree with you there. Panning out the PA and the anti-mage, I suppose they have their reasoning. They probably spoke about it and said, hey, listen, we don't want to deal with these heroes. It's going to be in our face. Let's get rid of it and play the game that we want to play. And like you said, the Death Prophet in combination with the Faceless Void is extremely strong. But I do want to point out something, how Oracle is actually pretty decent up against the Death Prophet. If he does go into the mid lane, he can just pick up points into Fate's Edict, throw it down, when someone's getting Siphon and they'll take no damage, meaning that Siphon period of time will, the damage done will be reduced by 3 seconds with a level 1 in Fate Deck. It's a very big, a significant period of time, especially for something that's 6 seconds. So it's pretty much halving the damage output. So that's something we should keep an eye on. I don't know if we're going to see it really come into play. I have seen it a little bit, but it's just something that could really come out in the laning stages.
Well, we will keep an eye on that. As far as the draft, the ban goes for the side of CarboN, banning out Elder Titan as well as the Disruptor. Big plays that eXdee actually picked up in the previous game. But this time around, eXdee jumping onto the Slark is going to be their core for the side of eXdee. I feel that this Slark, if he can get fed, can be an absolute nuisance to supports in the backline. An absolute devastation, this little hero.
Yeah, I mean, Slark, scary hero, but they've exposed their hand now. They only got supports really to be picking up from here on out. And an Earth Spirit pickup. I have not seen this hero since he took that really, really devastating nerf. A lot of people are saying that there's no way back for him until they buff him again, but maybe CarboN's going to prove everyone wrong here. I think Earth Spirit still has a place, maybe a lot more limited now, but it's definitely going to catch eXdee off guard here. And we can see they are going a bit deep into their reserve time here, maybe thinking about it. I feel Earth Spirit in combination with Oracle is actually pretty decent. They've got, of course, the Fortune's End, which can really set up a couple of combinations for the Earth Spirit. So we'll see if that pays off. And the Witch Doctor, of course, the Wombo combo of the Faces Void Witch Doctor.
Well, I do know that when we were offline waiting for game number 2, we were actually talking about the Witch Doctor picking up a Bloodthorn. Why don't you just tell everyone that's watching this game how crazy that pickup is? Because I think I want to play a pub and try it out.
If you're playing a serious game, I wouldn't suggest doing it. It's just finding the item is taking too large a period of time. But of course, the Bloodthorn, if you do throw it over onto a hero, you drop that Death Ward, it's going to crit on each hit, and it's a significant amount of damage, and a lot of carries just don't manage to survive that period of time. So it's cute, but I wouldn't suggest it.
Well, that's just a little bit of sideline banter there for you guys. But the fifth and final ban for the side of CarboN is going to be Ogre Magi, going to be the support that they ban out for eXdee. They're still looking to pick up their fifth and final support for their team as well. They've obviously revealed a lot more in their draft, revealing their cores that they want to play. So eXdee only got to pick up the support. They do have a ban still available to them. It will now reveal whether the Jugger is going to be mid or going to be that safe lane core. We said that Husker can actually tie up quite nicely with the Oracle. So CarboN have a little bit of thinking to do here. Obviously, eXdee feeling that the mid hero is still under contention and deciding to ban out the Medusa. So what could actually stand, if it's going to be a safe lane Jug, what could actually stand toe-to-toe against the Death Prophet and do reasonably well? The Invoker is still in the pool. Let's not forget about that. I don't know if any of the players on CarboN can actually utilize that hero.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have an Invoker player somewhere. Juggernaut, I do feel there's a mid lane Juggernaut. I can't think of a reason why they wouldn't put him there. He does extremely well against Death Prophet. He's got the Blade Fury, so the Siphon. Obviously, the mana cost doesn't favor the Juggernaut, but it also means that he can play quite aggressive. He gets an early healing ward up, gets a good timing on the bottle. The Death Prophet's not going to be as much of a concern as other potential mids. Again, I mean, the Juggernaut by all means can still be going into the safe lane, and now you're saying what other potentials could they have? Invoker actually does have a very tough time up against the Death Prophet. It's one of the few heroes that can deal a significant amount of damage, and no matter what you do to make that gap between you to really break that siphon is really, really difficult. So I'm not so sure. I think there's quite a lot out of the pool at this stage. To deal with the Death Prophet, I definitely feel it's either going to be the mid lane Sand King or the mid lane Juggernauts, which actually do pretty well in the situations.
All right, well, we'll stay tuned as it is now CarboN's turn to actually pick up their fifth and final pick for their draft. But now eXdee picking up the Winter Waven, getting themselves that support there. How do you feel about this working in their lineup here? I think that Winter's Curse is an absolute nightmare to push higher ground and make it very difficult for, or he's going to make it very difficult for CarboN to actually breach higher ground. How do you feel it's going to be doing in the laning phase?
I think laning phases Winter Wyvern is a brilliant hero. Of course, the Arctic Burn is probably one of the better level 1 abilities, coupled with a good stun, which they have in the Witch Doctor here. It's the laning stages are going to be a bit tough, and CarboN might have a bit of trouble. But again, the Oracle and Earth Spirit's combination is just as scary, I feel. But going into the mid game, Juggernaut has a bit of trouble dealing with the Winter Wyvern. Of course, you can't spin CP out because the Winter's Curse can go right through that Blade Fury. It also means that you can sort of control Juggernaut for either setting up a team fight, which can be the Winter's Curse into Coconut and the ulti from the Witch Doctor. And oh my word, Terrorblade pickup here. So it is going to be the mid jug, I feel.
Well, I think you did call it. It's going to be the mid jug. We're going to have Terra probably going to be in the safe lane, but that is going to put the draft to rest as the players are going to be picking up their respective heroes. For those of you that are just joining us, this is game number 2 of the Ballistix Masters Final. The winner of this series will be taking 10 grand home, putting it in their pockets, buying it on whatever snacks that they wish to, or whatever their heart desires to spend that money on. And as normal, we're going to run into a normal pause in the beginning part of the game, which is going to be perfect for us to run through the introductions for this team. So for the side of the Radiant, it's going to be a CarboN once again playing the side of the Radiant. We've got a 540 going to be playing our Earth Spirit. We're going to see a 100 going to be playing our Terrorblade. XBFH going to be playing the Juggernaut. 289 on the Sand King, and last but not least going to be a Long Live Snacky. Just remember that the side of CarboN, these are just different names. They're not their official names, so we'll just be continuing to use the in-game names. Please do introduce the side of the Dire for us.
Of course, going through the side of Die, eXdee going to be taking it up, and 225 going to be playing over here on his Faces Void once again. SpongeBob SquarePants, who is RDK, going to be playing over on the Slark. Of course, Mikasa going to be playing on the Winter Wyvern. Nokia 3310, also known as Soda, going to be playing over here on the Death Prophet. And Impact on that Doctor, going to be walking it down. The Witch Doctor already got a smoke up. That's something that's quite important to point out. And another thing is that 100's not playing the Juggernaut. It's XBFH. He was playing on that core position. So it seems like they're just going to switch up their roles here a little bit, will the side of CarboN.
Well, the game is going to be underway, and it's going to be a quite an interesting game. How do you feel what we're looking at the drafts, regardless of players and teams? How do you feel the draft went for either team?
I feel like CarboN has a draft that is very CarboN-esque, if I may say. It's definitely something that you would expect from them. Going for something like an Earth Spirit into this game, it may pay off huge dividends, or it could be absolutely irrelevant in this game. However, if I have to go with my gut, I feel like eXdee is going to grab this game, and we're going to go into game number 3, and I certainly hope so.
Oh, well, that's going to be bringing us some more awesome Sunday Night Dota if that is the case. So at the moment, Bounty Runes going to go one apiece. Death Prophet as well as the Juggernaut going to pick up their respective runes. And the game is going to get underway. Winter Wyvern just putting a little bit of the creeper block there for the Death Prophet, and XBFH just running back to lane to get that creeper block there. Just a little bit favoring Soda a little bit more, getting those creeps just a little bit closer there for him as well. Got a big roll in here from Farfo. The Spirit already putting quite a bit of pressure on Mikasa, rotating around from the back. This could be a little bit of problems here for the Winter Wyvern, but we're just going to tussle themselves a little bit here with a couple of right clicks, and Farfo actually walking away with a bit of a better advantage. XBFH actually finding a opportunity, but Mikasa being able to just fly over those trees and using that Arctic burn to just get himself out of a little bit of trouble there.
I remember a day when 1v1 mids were 1v1 mids. Another important thing for us to identify is 225 instantly went to the jungle, realized the potential that Oracle as well as an Spirit has, and I mean, look at the mid lane now. 33-10 might find himself in a little bit of trouble here. They're turning around to fight XBFH. He's going to start spinning. Oh, really good play coming out from the Oracle. First blood will go the way of the Juggernaut. Can they find more? Mikasa doesn't have that Arctic burn, and a great rotations coming out. And now maybe showing a little bit of the cost of having the Void in the jungle. It means the supports feel absolutely free to rotate out there. Just know 100 is going to get free farm. He's got no contests here. And it's maybe a little bit of a costly situation. It's something I wanted to talk about is when you do throw someone instantly in the jungle, you are instantly going to be under a lot of pressure from the opponent supports.
No, absolutely. I mean, the Void does have that iron talent, so jumping into the jungle is going to be his first option. Completely allowing Terrorblade to get free farm, allowing the supports to free roam. So that's going to be a little bit of a concern here for eXdee, and how would they deal with it now? Do they just bite the bullet and say, right, well, we've got to do this to ensure that our Void actually gets farm? What if they're giving up the off lane? They've got to be able to get something in return. And do you think it's enough to say that the Void gets jungle farm is enough?
I don't know. I think the Void, he was really trying here to pull the lane, see if he can put some pressure, have something there. But now RDK, can he get stunned up here? Looking for the pounce. Did manage to land it. Now rotations are there. 2-8, none. He's in a lot of trouble. There's no way for him out of here. And now finally a kill is going to go the way of eXdee. But the Wind's Wyvern picking that one up for himself, so that's going to help him in purchasing those wards and upping that career.
Well, never a bad thing for a support to actually get a kill there as well, considering how much the supports for the side of eXdee is going to be getting. I mean, we've got, let's just jump into the last hits at the moment. Terrorblade sitting at 19 and 9. We've got RDK sitting at 19 and 5. So even though there's an SK in the lane, still not hindering the amount of farm that RDK. But there's the latch. It is good. But the SK is going to still be brought down from that Maledict, from the Witch Doctor. And just being able to break that pounce through the Barrow Strike, not being able to keep himself alive because of the Maledict, it was still good. And eXdee put another kill towards their name in the mid lane. Falfo tries to pull in there, not actually catching out Soda, and taking a little bit of right click damage there from her as well. So, like we said, I mean, the Void surrendering up this bot lane leaves these supports to actually completely roam, and they're very good at gank. They're very good ganking heroes as well. I mean, we've got Spirit that can ball in, throw down his little tombs. I mean, his little remnants, making it very difficult for heroes to deal with.
Yeah, it's I agree with you. They got good roaming supports, but a very important thing to identify is that RDK is doing extremely well, considering that he had an off lane in his lane. He's out CSing a Terrorblade who has no pressure, or evenly CSing. I think that's pretty much perfect CS on a Slark who's actually been under pressure. They do have 2 heroes now in this lane. If he's able to keep this up, CarboN could find himself in a little bit of trouble. However, Terrorblade is one of the few heroes that I don't like to see free farming when I'm playing on the opposing team. But we'll see if they're going to be able to control him up.
Okay, well, let's say this goes to extreme part late game, and we've got a 6-slotted Slark or a 7-slotted Slark versus a 7-slotted Terrorblade. Who generally would take that fight?
I think Terrorblade comes out ahead, but it's tough to
marginally
say. I think Essence Shift is just so good, especially against a hero that relies heavily on stats. Maybe Slark actually does
top lane though. Impact finding out 289. SK in a little bit of trouble. Yeah, Maledict is going to be good, and another kill going in favor of the Witch Doctor as well. So kills going in favor of the supports at the moment, but the way that Slark is farming, it's not going to make a difference. And still being able to latch up a couple of assists on those kills, he still gets a little bit of gold for his efforts as well. So the side of CarboN looking a little bit in trouble this time round, not getting that good start as they did in game 1. Is it going to be a scenario where the laning phase really went bad for them and it's going to be hard for CarboN to get back in the game? But with that said, in terms of getting those last hits that he needs,
I don't think they'll have too much pressure upon themselves. The Terrorblade is scary, a scary hero, and one of the big things is that he's able to find objectives a lot quicker than a Slark would. So when we really talk about the late game Slark versus the late game Terrorblade, it's really going to be up to circumstance again. If you've got some sort of momentum behind your Terrorblade, buildings are going to fall very quickly. Any sort of momentum behind your Slark, and heroes are just going to be falling here and there, and then they're going to utilize something like the Death Prophet to bring down the towers. So if eXdee can just keep this the ball rolling, if I may, it's going to mean that Terrorblade might have to be building stats just to survive and not really to do what the hero is known to do.
Right, well, considering the game is a little bit slow and the game is actually being paused out at the moment, maybe you want to run through a couple of specific item progressions on certain heroes. Let's start with the cores, the Terrorblade, then to the Slark. What kind of items are we going to start seeing from these core players? Are we going to see a Dragon Lance up on the Terrorblade? Gives really good stats as well when he's in Metamorphosis. He's got that extra range. What kind of items do you foresee him actually going?
You can't say no to Dragon Lance on the Terrorblade. It's just too good. The stats for the value, it's just incredible. It's one of the few reasons why Terrorblade, even if he does fall behind the Slark, which he surely won't, he will be ahead in the sense because Slark is not really a natural builder of a Dragon Lance. The Slark more than likely is going to be looking for that Shadow Blade or the Blink Dagger, depending. More than likely the Shadow Blade. We don't see that much Blink Dagger as of late, but I do expect that from him. And I mean, yeah, the Terrorblade is now going to be going for the tier 1 tower, and this is a bad situation. But the Winter Wyvern is a good answer here to try and clear these waves up. But I mean, look at how much damage the Terrorblade deals to a building. It's incredible, and there's not much they can really do about this. Maybe see if they can find it in the dark. But meanwhile, Sand King is actually going to find himself a kill in the mid lane. Big rotations, 3 will find the Death Prophet, and that's a little bit of an unfortunate one for eXdee, as they might even lose a tower as well, and Terrorblade will find it. It's actually a really good exchange here for CarboN, putting themselves in a much more comfortable position, and the Sand King finding the kill, the hero who has died so many times in lane. That means he's not falling too far behind.
I mean, it's good that he can actually get it up, and he can farm rather quickly. He's got that caustic finale on level 2 at the moment, so he's going to be able to clear out those creep waves rather quickly, get that farm that he needs so desperately as well. Generally, if you see a jungling SK, you can generally pick up your Arcane Boots and Blink Dagger within the 10-minute mark if you pull and stack camps correctly. Pulling him in the off lane, do you still think it's as rewarding? Considering that because the Void jumped into the jungle, do you not think then maybe, well, let's put the SK in the jungle as well and just allow both cores to just like basically free farm? Or do you think that putting in the SK into that off lane, trying to hinder the Slark with what he could, was a good idea?
I don't think they skipped that out by any means, but I think they said, okay, if our Terrorblade gets well ahead of the Slark, we'll be in a much more comfortable position. If, mid lane, a lot of trouble here onto the Juggernaut, actually, the ulti being committed here by Sunny, will find the kill with the Crypt Swarm. Now, a lot of rotations coming in. That's 3. He's going to look for more here. Sand King jumps in aggressively, could be in a bit of a rough position here, gets healed up. So that he will go down. Now the Terrorblade is in the general area. Impact, once he gets himself out, but the Coconut's going to bounce right for him. And that's going to be a 1-for-2 exchange, and a very good one here for eXdee, even though they lost the Death Prophet. As, finding the Juggernaut as well as the SK, that's a little bit of an unfortunate one there for CarboN.
Yeah, no, that was super unfortunate. I mean, as we saw, the Spirit Siphon going straight through that Battle Fury from the Juggernaut, slowing him down enough for them to actually get that kill off on him. Some good rotations, maybe a little bit too aggressive there from the Sand King. Doesn't have Sandstorm up yet, even though he'd still be taking damage under the Exorcism, just not being able to avoid enough of that damage from the Death Prophet.
Yeah, the physical damage that comes out from the Death Prophet is immense once the Exorcism is up. And I mean, it's a lot of people want to hold on to the Exorcism to try and secure a tower or something. I think it's 100% worthwhile if you're going to find 2 kills with it, or even 1. It's even a support kill with the Exorcism is absolutely worthwhile.
Absolutely. Oh,
again.
but again, he's in a lot of pressure here in mid. The healing ward is dropped. It's going to keep him alive for the moment, and lost dropping down that healing ward as well. So, I mean, Soda, he's not going to sit back and take it, and he's going to put in a little bit of pressure here onto the Juggernaut. We did get the rotation coming here from the Oracle, just to try and make sure that he keeps his Jugger alive. And at the same moment, we've got Mikasa on the Winter Wyvern just hiding in the sidelines here, waiting for that jump on to the Death Prophet. No, actually revealing he's there with that Splinter Blast. And I mean, there's so much action in the mid lanes of late. Do you think that a lot of the international scene has promoted players on getting supports to the mid lane, making sure that they secure that specific farm, because it's something that's only come about as of late?
I can sort of disagree. I suppose maybe it's on the meta, but I think it's been quite important for them to make rotations at all time. Mid lane actually under a lot of pressure here, but I think there's always been pressure upon the mid lane. I think it's maybe grown a lot more as of late, just due to the types of heroes that are getting picked up in the mid. They usually highly farm dependence or something of that sort, so you want to try and deal with them.
But there's the Winter's Curse, going to catch out the Juggernaut. There's the Bubble, going to catch out too. Can they bring down the Jugger? They're going to focus on him as well. There's the Witch Doctor in the back lines. Now we've got the DP in a lot of pressure here. Sunder does come out, keeps him alive just long enough, but he's going to go down anyway, and the Death Prophet goes down as well. RDK teeping in, getting himself a triple kill here amongst the mess of this entire fight. Exorcism just causes such devastation here for the teams. You don't even notice that RDK in the backlines is just wrecking your players and picking himself up a nice 3k there.
Yeah, oh, and he's going to find another one. He's got a DD on hand. That is a dead Sand King. Oh, that's so unfortunate there. That's definitely going to be a tier 1 tower, and that's exactly the kind of momentum I was talking about a little bit earlier. The Slark, they find a kill, they're going to find the objective this way. Terrorblade, he can find the objectives by himself. As you can see what happened in the bot lane. Obviously, that tower falling very early, and probably expected from Terrorblade in lane. But, man, I mean, eXdee coming back with a vengeance here, and the mid lane fight absolutely falling apart here for CarboN.
No, absolutely, and just leaving Slark uncontested. I think that was a full 5-man team wipe. I think the Earth Spirit did actually go down in the mid lane during that fight, so yeah. I think they actually did kill all 5 players there for the side of CarboN. I mean, this is not the kind of position CarboN wants to be in at the moment, and they need to come up with some kind of plan to actually bring things back in their favor. With that said, they've now actually smoked up. We've got the Oracle as well as the Jugger. Earth Spirit in hot pursuit. The Terrorblade not smoked up, so they're going to try and find a kill. They do see the Death Prophet and the Slark. There comes the Omni Slash onto the Death Prophet. Immediate jewels up there. There comes the Earth Spirit trying to get it down, but enough for that right click of the Jugger to bring her down. Death Prophet down for the count. Pounce is good. Going to jump onto the Oracle. She's going to be able to stay out of vicinity. The Death Ward is down, doing quite a bit of work here. 540 going to be here by RDK is going to be enough, but Winter Curse on the Oracle in the backlines. RDK focusing on the Earth Spirit. Earth Spirit is able to get out. Now they're turning their attentions to the Oracle. It is going to be a dead Oracle. Melodict is there. Oh, but she does actually try and get herself healed up with Purifying Flames, but eventually she does go down, and she is down for the count. So things like they're trying to turn it around. I mean, CarboN, they try to get that smoke up. They were trying to do something to actually get them back in the game, so that they don't lose too much of their advantage. And it just turned around that eXdee came back and took an amazing fight there.
I feel that they'll be happy with that. It was a successful rotation into the jungle. However, a lot of time was potentially wasted, but they also forced the Slark to be hanging around that same general area. So it was a decent exchange for CarboN. We must also take into note that they are behind, so if they're taking a call for a support, it's worth that much more, and it's okay. So the smoke play, it paid off. They would have maybe wanted 2 there if they could have, but it's definitely not a waste at all. So Juggernaut finding the kill as well is pretty substantial. So another thing that we neglected to talk about is that CarboN's draft is a little bit greedy here, and if you have a major lead over a greedy team, you must take advantage of that as soon as you can, because something like this can really bite you. Healing ward into a Terrorblade who's taking your towers is, well, it's cancerous, to be fair.
Well, I can agree with that. But RDK is actually invised up. Going to find out the Spirit. The punch is good. Does find 5-4-0, but gets kicked away. Now we've got the Void jumping in hot pursuit. Melodict is going to be good, doing quite a bit of damage, but Kill going again in favor of the Slock. I mean, he's just racking up the kills at this moment. He's 5-0 with 5 assists. I dare to even look at the net worth of the heroes at the moment, and as predicted, Slark sitting top of the log with the Terrorblade with a K behind the Slark, and that was a free farming Terrorblade as well.
Yeah, I think laning stages were just so kind to ODK. I don't even think. I think they just played it very well. It definitely shouldn't have. He definitely shouldn't be this far ahead of the Terrorblade, but. Finding 3 kills onto the Sand King and still finding pretty much free farm. It was a very good job by eXdee. But the tier 2 tower, I don't know if this is a good exchange for them. They found 1 kill, they're going to find maybe a tier 1
Omni
tower.
Slash does catch out the Winter Wyvern, not going to bring it down, able to cold embrace herself up. And there comes Jugger, going to just Blade Fury and TP out. X isn't being used, so I think CarboN's going to be pretty happy with this, baiting out the Exorcism as well as that Winter's Curse from Mikasa. I think it was a decent trade. They never got the tower, but they never lost any heroes, and some big ultis down here for the side of eXdee.
Yeah, Slark, man.
RDK is going to find this Earth Spirit. This is going to be a bit of a problem here, but there's the Dark Pact. There comes the Pound. Not going to be good as he gets kicked away. He's going to roll away from RDK. He's going to try and chase down Earth Spirit at the moment. We've got the Oracle in the back line. He's going to try and keep him alive if she can get there close enough. And going to get kicked away again, but the Pounce is going to keep him there. The roll isn't available. 2 seconds to go until the roll was actually available to him, but still going down to the Slark. He's now sitting with a chunk of meat, sitting 6-0 at the moment, and we know situations where a Slark gets this amount of farm so early in the game.
Yeah, it's given me sleepless nights.
Where does it go from here? Where does it go from here? He's got the Echo Saber. Do we see him going into the Silver Age, or do you think we're going to go straight into Scuddy perhaps?
I don't think Silver Edge is too important. It's still a nice item because of course you build the ultimate orb. I think Scotty would be fine. Even an Orchid. They want to have this early high tempo game. An Orchid would even be quite nice here if they could just make sure that the Terrorblade's not going to live for that much longer and deal that much extra damage. That's could be pretty solid. But I think it will be more than likely the Scotty. I do feel.
Oh, yeah, in the bot lane, we've got the SK jumps in there. Echo, his ulti going off, brings down Mikasa, bursting out his epicenter. Now RDK in hot pursuit here, spots out the Sand King. Is he going to be able to TP out? He's going to make it by the skin of his teeth. RDK not being able to get there close enough. And I think that is the first reveal of his Blink Dagger as well. So SK now got those crucial items that he needs to make those big plays. And getting that epicenter off onto Mikasa. So, I mean, not to the highest priority hero, but I suppose the hero at the moment, any hero at the moment, is going to be satisfactory.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, again, I say any sort of pickle for them, even if they have to commit ultis to it. When you're behind like this, it's worth a lot, especially if you got some sort of greedy draft.
While even the bounty for the Winter Wyvern sitting at 488 gold, and I mean that is for your like position 5 support. That's quite a bit of chunk of gold there for a hero.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of the things we can actually say about CarboN. Their supports are far more wealthy than that of eXdee. eXdee supports have committed a lot more in securing farm for their cores. So if the cores do die, maybe CarboN can find themselves back in this game. I even noticed in the previous game how much gold they did commit onto their supports, and it really paid off for them at the end of the day. Meanwhile, in a good exchange here, I think it was a tier 2 tower for a tier 2 tower eventually. But I mean, this is the commitments of the Exorcism was fine, and they're going to back themselves in now. So not a bad exchange here for CarboN, putting pressure on all the lanes, and maybe having to go back with a smoke play.
Nice little play there. That actually smoked up, being almost instantly revealed from the position of the Void. A little bit of a waste there, but I did like the idea of taking the tier 2 tower, smoking up, maybe trying getting a kill off the back of that would have put them in quite a sweet position. So not being able to make anything happen there, the Witch Doctor, he actually smoked up just to try and get a little bit of an advantage there, not too much being played off there. Getting that ward, this ward placement over here just reveals so much in the rotations here that are coming out from CarboN. And I mean, another big pickup here, we've got 2 big items for both the cores here on the side of CarboN. We've got 2 Mantas on the side of CarboN. Do you think anything specific that we've kind of missed, that Jugger's going for Manta as well as the Terrorblade? Do you think it's just something to dispel the silence from the Death Prophet?
Well, it's that, as well as Healing Ward, obviously, with the illusions, and you push down the towers. It's just that good. Having this massive army is very difficult to deal with, but they do have a couple of heroes that are not too bad. Cripstorm's decent. Winter Wyvern does a really large amount of damage, which is often neglected. But I don't know. It's fine. I mean, definitely for the silence. I think they want to survive in these fights, and Man's Side, best item. But oh, it looks like RDK, he's in trouble here. He should go down, but a great Curtis is still alive. They're gonna fight now. The death was gonna be dropped. They're looking for more. He's still alive. I can't believe this. RDK gets the ulti off. He's gonna keep on fighting into this one. 100. He's in some trouble. Gets ultied up. That means he gets a swap. That's a double heal coming out for him. That means he's definitely gonna have a lot of HP once he does come back. They will find the kill here onto the Death Prophet. Gonna be running after more impact. He needs to get himself out of here, but he's got no teleportation scroll. This is going to be. He should die. What is going on? Surely they're gonna find him. Okay, yeah, he poked his head out, but trying to juke himself out, and he'll fall there. It looked good. I mean, I thought eXdee turned that fight around, but at the end of the day, another thing that we did neglect to really talk about is the power of Oracle plus the Terrorblade. Once you swap, it just means that there's no way he's going to lose any HP. It's almost sort of like a double heal that comes out onto him.
I mean, and there was unbelievable play there from the Winter Wyvern, just being able to keep his teammate alive, burning out that void, putting him in the bubble as well, so he knew that he couldn't even take any further damage, just keeping them alive for so long, because that hero should have died almost instantly, but those quick fingers from the Winter Wyvern, just keeping his teammate alive. Unbelievably good work. And we were talking about the Mantas a little bit earlier, and you know, a little bit of a problem though is when the drops down the Winter's Curse, that's like an additional 4 heroes like attacking you. It's a bit of, don't you think it could actually turn around and bite them in their tukish a little bit later?
Yeah, it really could, but it's like saying you better not build items because you're playing against the Winter Wyvern because you're going to hit us harder. Unfortunately, you just got to say, okay, this is our game plan, we're going to stick to it. Winter Wyvern is just one of those heroes that just make anything an absolute misery to do, so there's not much you can really do to counter that play. So,
I suppose also you have more options. The Winter Wyvern has to now select out of 3 heroes as opposed to the 1 hero to actually target. I mean, if he selects an illusion, that's going to be a wasted ulti essentially.
Yeah, well, Roshan going to be going down here. This is really big for them, but they might even find themselves a kill here onto the Sand King. I think he's dead. Another kill for the Slug. He's damn. Going back to the point you made a little bit earlier, I'm sorry that we're changing the subject, but you're saying that how the Winter Wyvern kept the Slug alive. He's got a massive killing spree on him here. If they kill him, that's a large amount of gold. So it's going to be up to Mikasa to make sure that they don't give away that huge chunk of gold. And it's a really tough job if you are that Winter Wyvern.
So he's solely tasked with making sure that RDK actually stays alive on the Slug. We were chatting a little bit earlier about his item progression. He has actually picked up his Silver's Edge. He has actually gone to pick up his Basher now as well. Who do you think he's going to be wanting to open on with that Silver's Edge available? Could it be the Jugger with the Blade Dance, take away the crit? Are we going to look at maybe the Sand King with his Caustic Finale? What kind of heroes would RDK like to open up on just to kind of disable that?
I feel like 100% the hero that he needs to be putting pressure on is the Oracle at all times. If he can force Oracle to have to ulti himself...
But there we go in the mid lane. I mean, I think we don't even have to explain that. That's how quickly actually died.
Yeah, rest in peace, friend. Again, the Silver's Edge does a huge amount of burst damage right off the beginning. Hero like Slark can die very quickly, and like Oracle can die very quickly, and with that, he's not going to have that ulti for the Terrorblade, which we saw how massive of a difference that made in the team fight. That Terrorblade, there was just no way that hero was going to die. So I think he's tasked at making sure that Oracle doesn't stay around for too long.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's picked up the basher, so I assume we're going to see an Abyssal Blade coming out from the Slark. I think it's a nice way to deal with the Terrorblade, especially when he's about to sunder. I think they've pretty much got all to deal with the side of CarboN at the moment. eXdee being used up, going to be putting quite a bit of pressure on this tier 3 tower. Jugger hiding quite far in the back lines. Not looking to actually take a fight just yet. CarboN, I don't want to fight into that eXdee, but they're getting quite a bit of damage done here on this tower. We've got the Fortune's End being thrown out. Not going to be a very long duration stun, but there we go. SK jumping in, missing the Death Prophet, and now that's going to cause the Terrorblade to actually just disengage and actually giving tier 3 tower. But here we go, RDK jumping onto the Juggernaut, gonna be chasing him out of there now, trying to work onto the Terrorblade in the back lines. The Void trying to find a little bit of a target here, but beautiful little chrono catching RDK just inside the bubble there. If the Terrorblade kept alive long enough, he would have gone down, but it's the Earth Spirit going down on the sidelines here as well, and 2 barbacks coming back instantly, the Terrorblade as well as the SK. Now we got the Epicenter being used up, big blink stun in, bringing down the Void. Now we've got Soda in a little bit of trouble. Is that enough? Quick fingers there from the Winter Wave, and Cold Embrace is going to be good, keeping Soda alive just long enough. We've got the Aegis now down, and they're going to be respawning in a second. We got Slark here on the back lines, waiting to see if he can make something happen, but they decided just to let that Death Prophet drop, and all on the back of this, losing a couple of heroes here for the side of eXdee, 2 buybacks here from the side of CarboN, and a quite a dramatic gold lead advantage here for the side of eXdee, getting that. But on the sidelines, we've got another little fight taking place here, and a big bring down here for the Slark. The Slark is down, going to the Juggernaut. That is going to be a huge amount of gold for him. He's now sitting with 2k in the bank. I mean, this is not what RDK wanted, giving that kind of farm to their core hero. This is a little bit of a mistake, I think. I mean, what made RDK jump in there?
I'm not sure. He saw the kill, went for it, and he paid with his life. Maybe underestimating the damage output from the cores. Maybe thinking that maybe there was no way out for him. I don't think he had a TP on. I don't think he had a TP. I think he just swapped it down for his Aquila. But this is one of the things, you can't really give too much space to a lineup like CarboN's. These illusions do a lot of damage, and if your tier 3s take any sort of chip damage, every time you lose, you're under threat of losing rack. So fortunately now for them, they didn't take too much, and they didn't lose all that much. But I think maybe an unnecessary death here on RDK. I don't know, maybe you got caught out. I did miss that entire engagement out, but if that extra bit of gold onto the Terrorblade has boosted his net worth substantially, and it's actually looking like they're kind of pulling the net worth graph a little bit back, is CarboN.
Well, I mean, that was just before that little death there from RDK. We were actually looking at the team fight recap and how drastic things were looking for CarboN. But after killing off RDK, things swinging a little bit more back in favor of CarboN. They're only now down 5k, as it looked like they were actually down about 8k. So a big swing gold, or a big gold swing going in favor of CarboN in that little fight there at the moment. But eXdee wanted to put more pressure back onto this mid tower, maybe realizing the strength of CarboN's lineup. I mean, they've got all these Mantas, they've got all these big heroes that can actually push so easily as well. But I think maybe eXdee realizing that and wanting to make sure that they don't let the pressure up. eXdee going to be pulled out again, going to be used. I do hear a pounce in the back lines. There we go, with Earth Spirit going down from RDK. That's a massive pickup there for eXdee. Now using up the buyback there from the Earth Spirit. Going to pull him back into the fray. While this is all going on, eXdee is doing quite a bit of work here onto those Rexes. Sanking, getting that stun off onto Soda. The bubble's going to be good. Catches out the Juggernaut as well as the Oracle in the back lines. Epicenter going to bring down the Death Prophet. RDK working looking now on the Sand King. Does use his Shadow Dance there, but Sand King going to survive just long enough. And now it's Earth Spirit going down to the onslaught of RDK. Now we've got Sand King trying to find the Slark. Is it going to be good enough? He is actually Silver's Edge up, and he's just going to run away and get himself out of dodge. So 2 down for the side of eXdee, 1 down for the side of CarboN. That was a dieback from the Earth Spirit as well. So not the most favorable position for CarboN, and we've got 2 buybacks available for the side of eXdee on the Void as well as the Death Prophet. The Witch Doctor is down for about 16 seconds. Going to give them enough time to spawn, as CarboN is going to be knocking on the mid racks very, very shortly.
Yeah, and I think that wasn't too bad for CarboN right now. They didn't take too much damage on their attacks. They're going to do some chip damage now. They won't be forcing a buyback, I don't imagine, but look at the damage that comes out. It's just sad. They're going to force out the glyph on the backlines here. RDK getting look for a kill, 289. He might be in trouble, but they're got to get himself on that. RDK, if he gets caught in vision, he could be in a little bit of a pickle here, but seems like the side of CarboN are going to do what they do best and be very, very patient. And I definitely feel like they made the right play. Their massive amount of chip damage dealt to the tier 3 tower. They didn't get any losses. I think it's a pretty good win here for CarboN.
No, I think absolutely. They didn't lose too much over there. They did, and not being able to bring down anything or put any damage on either hero. So, I mean, both teams just resetting, kind of just want to go back to the drawing board, decide on how they're going to actually break through the defenses of both teams, and just checking out Rosh. It's going to probably be, we'll find out in the next minute or so how long the Rosh time is going to be. So, I mean, we're at this point in the game, 32 minutes in, sitting 15-22, things in favor of eXdee this time. Slark absolutely filthy rich, closely followed by the Terrorblade, surprisingly, with basically 100 gold in it, followed up by the Juggernaut. So the Juggernaut and the Terrorblade are really getting quite a bit of farm on themselves. Could potentially pose a problem as soon as RDK is down. You've got 2 big right clickers available to either team to actually make those big plays. Smoke is actually being used up for the side of eXdee, trying to see if they can actually find a little bit of a target here. They're going to spot out the Earth Spirit as well as the Sand King, and they do find it. We've got RDK now. BK being up, finds the Oracle, but the Omni Slash is going to catch out RDK in the bubble there. A little bit of a bubble that caught the RDK, but now RDK fighting down the Oracle in the back line. We've got Earth Spirit taking quite a chunk of damage here. We've got that Death Ward doing so much damage. RDK trying to chase to run away. Epicenter from the Sand King is not going to be good enough. Not going to be able to actually find anyone on the back of this. And now Sand King finding out Soda here in the sidelines. Now Exorcism is actually going to be used up. We've got the time dilation being used out, and SK being able to just TP out of the middle of battle and not actually go down. But now Soda getting used up. Sunder comes through, dropping it on the Slark. Oh, RDK, beautiful little fingers and reactions there from Mikasa, keeping the Slark alive. But we've got Soda going to go down, and now this false promise in the back lines just keeping. We've got the Terrorblade being kept alive from the Oracle. Oh my gosh, these team fights. Now time dilation being used out here from the Void, catching out the Oracle. Oracle trying to dodge, and now 3 players here for the side of eXdee trying to work it down. And RDK paid with his life. Death Prophet down for the count. Is it going to be enough to actually do anything on the back of this? Doesn't look like it, as eXdee is probably just going to walk out of lane. Sand King is going to return to the top lane, just clear that out a little bit, and a little bit a reset there for both teams. But I mean, that was a crazy little fight there. That Terrorblade just standing toe to toe and not being brought down. Ridiculous.
Yeah, long live Snacky, man. Getting a massive chunk of gold there with the kill on the Slark. I think he could have got away there. Maybe just a bit greedy for the kill. I don't know if he felt like that vision around the trees. But RDK getting caught out there, and CarboN, I mean, it wasn't a really good exchange for them, however, at the end of the day. But I don't know. I think it could have gone a little bit better. But really good plays, making sure that the Oracle was brought down. And that's buyback also utilized on the Oracle, because he did rejoin that fight and died again. So that buyback is quite expensive. And knowing that you don't have a buyback on your Oracle is a scary factor, especially when you're dealing with a hero like a Winter Wyvern who can throw the Winter's Curse down. And we just saw how the cause absolutely destroyed the Oracle. If he's no longer part of the fight and he hasn't used his ultimate, there is major issues for CarboN. So the positioning of this Oracle for the next 5 minutes is going to be absolutely essential.
Well, we saw that RDK got into a little bit of trouble there because the Terrorblade actually sundered with RDK with the slog. Now we see that Mikasa, I think it's Mikasa that actually brought up the Lotus Orb. If he can actually drop the Lotus Orb on RDK before he's about to get sundered, or what is the scenario that will happen there? Is he going to be able to swap life back? Is it like a null transaction?
Nothing
What's
happens, yeah. Nothing happens.
okay?
Zero occurrence.
So after that maybe I don't know when Mikasa actually picked up that Lotus Orb. Was it in the previous team fight or is it a recent pickup? Could probably check, but I don't think it was actually available in that fight. And cause for RDK, I mean they're going to drop that. I feel that they need to drop it onto the slot just to make sure that. That doesn't happen again. But in the bot lane, SK finding out RDK. There comes a stun. Fortune's in. The ball's in. There's the Lotus Orb being dropped down. BKB being used up now at the moment. Does it look like CarboN want to actually chase this down? eXdee not actually wanting to fight, and the call is to retreat. Get themselves out of this precarious position at the moment. And this may be a full-on charge here for the side of CarboN, at least trying to put a little bit of damage here into this bot lane tier 3 tower. There is a little bit of chip damage so far. Maybe they can make something off the back of this. Rush is available at the moment, so this could be a very potential contention point at the moment.
Yeah, both teams are scattered out, so they are fully aware of this, and good push out of the lane here. They definitely know that they've headed into the pit. No smokes on hand, but 225, he jumps in, gets the chrono, catches out too. This is probably a dire situation here for them. Good kick comes through from the ears. Now the ultimate going to be used here. Terrorblade is in some trouble. I don't know if he's going to survive this one. Where is the Oracle is really the question. And it does get the ulti down. The swap is there, and that should be RDK's death. Will he get away? He's so close. Now they're looking to turn their attention here onto the Death Prophet. RDK, he's still alive, looking to potentially fight into this one. 100, he's got a decent chunk of HP. Now looking to fight. Nokia taking massive chunks of damage, but now the Eel's being utilized. They're going to find the kill on the Sand King, looking for more. They got to get themselves a nap at the slot. He's looking for the wraparound. Should find one. Oh, he gets the bash right off the bat. Now looking for more. He's got the BKB up. This is a difficult target to bring down. 100. If he goes down, this is huge. A 3-for-0 exchange so far. Oh, the Juggernaut managed to get himself one out. 3-for-0, and more than likely a Roshan. eXdee looking like they're in a very decent position to grab this game number 2.
I mean, that was a beautiful team fight that took place. I mean, they did everything right. They engaged with 225, catching 2 of the heroes there. Unfortunately, the players were sitting, most of the team for CarboN was sitting outside the rush, but this side made it very difficult for them to actually keep the Terrorblade alive, although Terrorblade got off a decent Sunday, keeping him alive a little bit longer. RDK sitting on the back lines in this vicinity over here, didn't allow them to actually engage too well, so it made it very difficult for that fight to actually take place. And at the end of it, eXdee taking a very decent fight there and being able to walk away with the Aegis and generally almost a full 5-man team up there as well. So eXdee looking in to actually taking game number 2. We'll see how they do play it out. We know that no game's over until the fat lady's sung. So now with the Aegis on hand, we're going to see some pressure being put here into the mid lane. Aegis is up onto the Slock, so this is the perfect hero that they want up, the perfect hero that want to be actually carrying the Aegis. And Death Prophet pops the Exorcism, so they're looking to actually make something happen on the back of this. There's the Lotus Orb. Going to be able to stun out the Slock. He's going to be caught back in deep behind the lines here. But BKB actually used up. Shadow Dawn's going to be used, and they're going to get the first lane of Rax in the mid. And now it is time for eXdee to actually get out. They got the objective that they needed. They want to walk back, reset, and allow CarboN to think about the errors that they've made. So, I mean, eXdee, good rush fight off the back of that. They took another objective in the mid lane, and now CarboN in a little bit of a precarious situation to move on from here. What does CarboN need to do, or what can we see happening next?
I think they just need to do what they did the last game. Be patient. There's no reason for them to panic here. They haven't lost too much. They've got decent heroes. They definitely can identify their weaknesses here. They need to make sure the Oracle stays alive at all costs. That will be absolutely dire, because that means the Terrorblade is going to be dealing damage for that much extra amount of time. And when he does swap health, of course, that's going to make a massive influence. He needs to make sure, of course, that they're not Lotus Orbed up. But yeah, I think they no reason for them to panic. but a clear idea of where they're taking this game for the next 5 minutes, and if it doesn't pay off, then maybe accept that they might have lost this game. I think the draft just was really strong from eXdee this time around. CarboN going a bit unorthodox, and it's just one of those things. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I did say at the beginning of the draft this is very CarboN-esque, and sometimes it's incredible. Sometimes it doesn't work out just as they would have liked it to. But it's not over. I definitely feel that if eXdee lose one or two big team fights, a Terrorblade just destroys your base.
Yeah, they just run up that uphill and just start right-clicking towers. And I mean, you've got the Manta available on the Jugger as well as onto the Terrorblade, and the side of eXdee don't have too much. They've only got really the arc, the splinter from Winterwaven to really clean out the creep waves. So it could be a little bit of a problem if we do see eXdee, a couple of the heroes from eXdee dropping. Could actually open up the doors into the Dyer's base and could be a little bit of a problem. So if eXdee can play, or let's say CarboN can play their cards right, they are out of it. Just things at the moment have been going terribly well for eXdee. Like, the luck of the gods are really in their favor and making it very difficult for them to actually take a little bit of an advantage. They just need basically one gift for them to take a little bit of the lead. I mean, only the Slark is sitting top of the logs in terms of net worth, then followed by the Terrorblade and the Jugger, and then the rest of eXdee. So if the Jugger and Terrorblade can actually come to the party and really get those priority heroes, I think there's a big opportunity for CarboN to actually make something or take an objective on the back of that.
Absolutely, I can definitely agree with that. Excuse me. Something I wanted to point out about when they just took the racks there, interaction that I absolutely forgot about was, of course, with the Lotus Orb, the Sand King stun. And RDK was almost like a swap because he also burrow strikes in the opposite direction. So it's actually something they got to be a bit careful of here. Long range stun from the Sand King onto someone who's Lotus Orb could be pretty much like a Venge swap, essentially, with the stun. So it's something that that must be considered here, and maybe CarboN might utilize that in their favor.
I mean, that's a very valid point. I mean, we all wondered how the Slark actually jumped behind the racks, and it's because of that Burrow Strike, being able to teleport RDK right into danger. Because he has Shadow Dance and BKB, was able to actually get out of it pretty easily, but it is still a big eXdee need to be very, very wary about.
Yeah, it saved quite a bit. Quite a cool interaction. I
It's actually pretty cool. Just jumping onto the Death Prophet, sitting with 3k gold in the bag for her. What do you think we're going to see from her next? She's got her Octarine, got her Yule Scepter, BKB online. Maybe BOTs. What could we see coming out from the Death Prophet? Maybe Sheep. Obviously saving for her buyback. She's got 2,000 in the surplus, so she could start looking at maybe purchasing one or two of the items to whichever item she's going for. But what would you like to see on the Death Prophet next?
I think BOTs is surely the item, or Shiva's, if he doesn't opt to go that direction. But actually, it's a blade mail. So, never mind what we have to say. The blade mail actually makes a lot of sense. It means that his ulti is going to be down for a long duration. Terrorblade is not going to want to hit him all that much. You don't want to lose that much HP, and unless you know the Oracle is always going to be there, which we've been able to see that the main objective for eXdee, and rightfully so, is that Oracle. I did speak about it a little bit earlier. The Slark will be aiming at that, but it seems like it's pretty much they left that up to the Winter Wyvern and everyone else. Just make sure there's no Oracle. We will win the team fight from there. So it's a difficult job, and I know if you're position 5 and you're so squishy and you're the one guy that they want dead, it's not a fun place to be. No,
you're always the sexy girl at the party. Always, everyone just kind of wants you.
Exactly. But dead this time.
Yeah. A little bit dead this time. But I mean, we did mention in the beginning parts of the draft when it was taking place, you kind of queried the Earth Spirit pickup. Do you think that he's actually done enough in this game to actually be impactful? Or do you think that maybe they could have done a little bit better with the Earth Spirit. Do you think that CarboN let the draft go a little bit because of the Earth Spirit? Maybe a little bit of a better hero. Maybe the Kunka could have even done a little bit better in terms of control.
From the few games that I've watched CarboN play, that they will barely ever pick up the same hero twice. But yeah, I think the Earth Spirit had a really good influence on the early game, and maybe they wanted that to convert into a bigger exchange, but I think the Death Prophet got too much. But a big fight now potentially coming out 289. He's going to get heals up into there. Nokia, he's in trouble. Oh, great heals onto himself. Going to keep himself alive for a little bit longer. Slark, he's diving behind the lines. Wolf on the Sand King. Nokia, he's still alive. Gets a good silence down. But an instant bash, but a great chronosphere from 225. It does get the Death Ward in it, but it doesn't matter. They find the kill. They're looking for more. Oh, 40. He's going to go down. The BKB's up for Nokia. They're looking for more. Oracle, he's in a lot of trouble, and he will go down. Good game does get called, and it's going to be 1-1. eXdee managed to pull it back. Man,
that was... Yeah, absolutely. And CarboN realizing that they're a little bit drowned and overwhelmed from the side of eXdee, really showing their dominance. And yeah, I mean, where do you think things went wrong for the side of CarboN? I mean, considering that they had a free farming Terrorblade in the beginning parts of the game, where did things really go bad for CarboN this time around?
I think things really went bad for them when the Winter Wyvern got picked up, because once they realized, oh, the Winter Wyvern is going to actually destroy us here, it's a little bit too late, and it was too far gone. They had to rely on the Oracle landing those ultis to really pull themselves on back, and it was just a tough spot. So I just think the draft was pretty much where eXdee secured the win. I won't say it was the reasoning why CarboN lost. The Earth Spirit pickup is probably going to be the most controversial thing out of this game, but he did do his part in the early game. He bought a little bit of space for the Juggernaut. The Juggernaut didn't ever really fall behind. It's just that the Death Prophet managed to find a couple of team fight kills, and that really put him ahead.
Right, well, there you have it. It is the end of game number 2, so do join us for game number 3. This is going to take us into our final game of this evening. Remember, the winner will now walk away with a 10k gold in their pocket, but do join us. We will be in game number 3 very, very shortly. For those of you that are not going to be joining us, we wish you a pleasant Sunday evening and a great week, but do join us in game number 2.
Yes. AP.
Crucial Ballistix gaming memory delivers the seamless performance and instant responsiveness you need for total domination. With Ballistix gaming memory, you get faster speeds, lower latencies, and aggressive heat spreaders. Advanced features such as LEDs, low-profile modules, and real-time temperature monitoring let you customize your rig further. Ballistix modules are available in DDR3 and the latest DDR4 technology, which is faster, has lower voltages, and greater capacities than DDR3. Choose your level of performance with Sports, Tactical, or Elite series, and crush the competition with Ballistix. Accelerate nearly everything on your rig with a crucial SSD. Slash load times. Get into your game faster and access files, games, and apps almost as soon as you click on them. Choose the form factor that's right for your build and destroy the competition with the power and acceleration of a crucial SSD.
Crucial is a brand of Micron, one of the largest memory manufacturers in the world. We leverage more than 35 years of expertise to create some of the world's most reliable memory and SSDs. Everything from select silicon to the finished product is tested, monitored throughout production, and tested again before it leaves our doors. Unlike third-party brands, we don't end assemble. We make everything from start to finish. That's quality you can depend on. Crucial desktop and laptop memory is one of the easiest and most affordable ways to improve performance. Designed to help computers run faster and smoother, Crucial memory is available for more than 100,000 systems in DDR to DDR4 technology, and it's easy to install. Load programs faster, increase system responsiveness, run data-intensive applications with ease, and multitask seamlessly. Crucial server memory is available in all form factors and all levels of memory technology, compatible with OEM servers and warranties, and manufactured to mission-critical standards. Servers fuel everyone in an organization. Since active data resides in memory, increasing a server's installed memory capacity is one of the easiest and most affordable ways to improve workload and organizational performance. Get more out of your server infrastructure by maximizing the installed memory capacity. Crucial SSDs are faster, more energy efficient, and more durable than hard drives. Booting up and accessing data on a Crucial SSD is like flipping a light switch. It's almost instant and makes everything you do extremely fast. All of our SSDs are backed by hundreds of qualification tests and our free Crucial Storage Executive tool to ensure that you get the most reliable storage for your data.
Crucial Ballistix gaming memory delivers the seamless performance and instant responsiveness you need for total domination. With Ballistix gaming memory, you get faster speeds, lower latencies, and aggressive heat spreaders. Advanced features such as LEDs, low-profile modules, and real-time temperature monitoring let you customize your rig further. Ballistix modules are available in DDR3 and the latest DDR4 technology, which is faster, has lower voltages, and greater capacities than DDR3. Choose your level of performance with Sports, Tactical, or Elite series, and crush the competition with Ballistix. Accelerate nearly everything on your rig with a Crucial SSD. Slash load times, get into your game faster, and access files, games, and apps almost as soon as you click on them. Choose the form factor that's right for your build and destroy the competition with the power and acceleration of a Crucial SSD.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and DOTA players around the world. We're in game number 3. It has come down to a final game in this best of 3 series where eXdee is going head to head against CarboN. It has been an amazing series thus far, and both teams one apiece at the moment. It is going to be the winners. We're going to be finding out the winners of this Ballistix Masters finals. It is going to be I think a cracker of a game. That both teams have brought so much to this series so far, and things have just been getting out of hand. But let's jump into the bands and the drafts as they have begun. I am Jabba. I'm joined by Scarps. Scarps, anything in particular that you want to mention during from these last 2 games that we've seen?
Well, I suppose there's quite a lot to point out. Both teams really playing great Dota. It's really been entertaining stuff. I think game number 1, it went the way of CarboN just because they were a little bit patient. Game number 2, I felt like eXdee had a far better draft. Not saying that CarboN's draft was weak, it was just that they were caught out by that final pick on the Winter Wyvern, which actually put them in a little bit of a predicament. Actually sort of controlled their movements in the team fights, where they would be standing. They were spread out so much, and the Slark really thrives in those sort of situations. So at the end of the day, I think both these teams are still very evenly matched, and of course we can see that by the score obviously being 1-1, and I mean, not much more to add besides that.
Well, as the draft is underway, we've got some big bans coming out here for both teams. Drow and Mirana being banned out from eXdee. Pretty much the standard bans from eXdee for the evening. The side of CarboN going for the Morphling Oracle ban this time round, and this time round eXdee managing to get the pickup on the Shadow Demon. The first game was actually being picked up by CarboN, giving them that little bit of an advantage now, being able to get their hands on the Darks here for the side of eXdee. And then Elder Titan Faceless Void. It seems like a little bit of a role replacement here for the 2 teams from game 1.
Yeah, I think CarboN picking up the Faceless Void here is actually quite an important fact. eXdee, they didn't opt to go for it. They said, oh, we don't want to let them get the Shadow Demon, and maybe we're hoping to get the Faceless Void in that, but Shadow Demon into Faceless Void is still pretty good. Shadow Demon is actually quite a decent pickup against the Faceless Void, so it's interesting. Of course, we spoke about it in game number 1, how good the synergy is between Elder Titan and Faceless Void. Obviously, extremely good. But I am looking forward to some crazy plays where 225 is going to vacuum the enemy team into a chrono and make it his own chrono.
Well, we do hope to see those big plays. We do, just a little bit of an update. We also have the lower bracket finals taking place this evening, playing for 3rd and 4th. APG versus Damage Control. I believe it is 1 apiece as well. So also come down to a very close final as well. So the 2 teams that we're witnessing this evening, eXdee and CarboN, they're fighting up for 1st and 2nd place, and APG and Damage Control fighting for 3rd and 4th. And the prize pools respectively is 10,000, 5,000, 3,000 and 2,000 rand. So that is what is up for grabs on this beautiful Ballistix Masters finals evening. nice growth in terms of esports in South Africa. Big shout out to our sponsors who have made it all possible. Crucial, Cynatech, the Ballistix, Inatech, Red Dragon. Beautiful, thanks, and big thumbs up to you guys to making this all possible for our local scene, and just allowing esports in South Africa to get a little bit of a springboard into being able to compete what the international scene is doing. But with all that said and done, let's jump back into this crazy game. I believe that my mic is doing funny games, Scops. If you will take it away for the moment, if I can just have a look into it.
Of course, hopefully it does get sorted out. But yeah, looking over at the draft, of course, the Disruptor going to be picked up here for CarboN. Of course, a great pickup. I mean, Chronosphere coupled with the ultimate of the Disruptor, which is the Static Storm, with the Elder Titan. A lot of wombo combo there. We did see CarboN deal with it in game number 1. Now they're going to have it in their arsenal to fight this. It will be interesting to see if they're going to be able to pull much off the Spirit Breaker. Very interesting pickup here. More than likely going to be going on their number 4 position, looking to create a lot of space around the map. Obviously with his global presence. And you back with us, Juba?
I think, is my mic a lot better? Or is it still playing?
It's slightly distorted. It's terrible.
Is it? Okay, well, I'll try and see if I can try and make a plan there. That's super unfortunate, but do tell me if it does take place again, and I'll try and sort it out. I think, is it a little bit better now?
Yeah, much better now. There we go.
All right, no, perfect. Okay. A little bit of fingers needed to do a little bit of work there, but if it does happen again, please do let me know. So, as you were saying, big and nice pickup there from the Spirit Breaker, probably trying to give that global presence. Could be a little bit of a concern to CarboN.
Yeah, I think that they will feel a bit concerned, especially for their little supports like Disruptor. But of course, Disruptor is actually pretty good up against Spirit Breaker in most instances. He can come running in, and all of a sudden he's back to where he started. Also, Spirit Breaker can't really run into a Chronosphere, so he can't really disrupt that sort of team fight. So I feel like eXdee is going for something greedy here. And the Spirit Breaker's job is to make sure that there's pressure on all the lanes and a lot of space is created by the means of maybe forcing a lot of rotations every time the Spirit Breaker is charging. So I think laning stage, Spirit Breaker is a concern, but mid-game, I feel like he's going to be a little bit lackluster.
Well, in game 1, we saw that the Shadow Demon was actually tied up with an anti-mage. Do you think that CarboN will feel anti-mage as a good ban or a worthy ban? Or do you think they're not going to actually ban out the anti-mage? We saw how well it actually couples up quite nicely with the anti-mage. Create those illusions of the anti-mage, and then you've got basically these illusions running around, stealing mana from a majority of the enemy team or the team of CarboN. So what could you see? Well,
wow.
Okay, so they decided to go for a Phantom Lantern, not a common call we see being picked up with the Shadow Demon, or at least I haven't seen. But I suppose it's just as good. I mean, an illusion hero does extremely well with the Shadow Demon.
Yeah, you must also remember that the illusions of the PL, obviously, the illusions made by the Shadow Demon also create illusions when hitting. So that is a factor, but it's not really a significant one. However, this is almost 100% a mid lane PL. Mid lane PL obviously very highly regarded as one of the better counters to invoke in the mid lane, and I'm almost certain that this is going to be the mid lane PL. So just due to the fact that there is an invoker on the opposing team. But yes, it does synergize quite well. I've seen a couple of teams run it, but it's not as effective as you'd like. Not as good as something like a Luna or Terrorblade, which is also still in the pool, something that we should acknowledge. But yeah, the Slark's going to be the ban, obviously showing that CarboN are aware that this is more than likely going to be that mid lane PL.
What? Well, the SK has actually now just been banned out for the side of CarboN now as well. Well, eXdee banning out SK, so CarboN not being allowed to pick up the SK. Now leaving 2 picks available for either team. PL being assume that will probably be the mid lane hero. What could eXdee pick up as their core? I feel it could be an AM, but maybe CarboN's got enough to actually deal with the AM, and they've got a lot of control in terms of the bubble. They've got the disruptor, the static storm that could actually keep the AM in place and actually be a little bit of a problem for him. What kind of heroes do you think eXdee could turn to?
Terrorblade is still in the pool again. I brought it up earlier. I think Terrorblade is
Maybe a
pretty
Jagger?
decent. Juggernauts is fine. Wow, okay.
Okay, that's...
Yeah,
That's-
so I think I said it in game number 1. Shadow Demon doesn't necessarily have to be paired with a hero that is extremely good. Not to say that PL's is not a good hero for Shadow Demon. Of course, the illusions of PL are really good, especially once he does get a couple of items online. Especially the Diffusal Blade. Once that Diffusal Blade's there, obviously it creates these illusions, and you just soak the mana out. So, wow, okay. Axe, really interesting pickup here.
Well, we haven't seen X in this entire series this evening, and definitely one of the stronger heroes in this current meta, being an absolute devastation to the side, to whichever team picks it up. It causes absolute devastation, and considering that majority of eXdee is actually a melee lineup, could actually be quite an advantage here with the X pickup. I mean, something that maybe CarboN spotted out and actually saw that once the teams engage, he's got the opportunity to jump in, cause devastation, and then get those dunks on. But nonetheless, we are in game number 3. This is going to be the final game of the evening. Wishing both teams the best of luck and making sure that the winner does walk home with a pretty 10,000 Rand in their pockets. So best of luck to both teams. Shout out to the sponsors once again. And with all that said, let's go around and do the introductions. For the side of CarboN, again on the Radiant side, we've got 540 playing the Disruptor, XBFH playing our Faceless Void, 289, we're going to be playing our Axe, Long Live Snacky on our Elder Tyrant, and last but definitely not least, going to be 100 on the Invoker.
Yeah, before I take us through the die, I just want to point out something, that this is Safe Lane Faces Void, so we're going to have to see how that works out for them. But yeah, going through the side of the die, of course, that's going to be eXdee, going by Portraits. Just to help you out there, Juba. Lifestealer going to be played up here by RDK or SpongeBob SquarePants, as it says his name there. Darkseer is going to be played by 225. The PL is going to be played by Nokia 3310, aka Soda. We're also going to see Spirit Breaker being played here up by Mikasa. And last but not least, Impact going to be playing on the Shadow Demon. And very interesting. I think this is dual lane. This is almost certainly dual lanes. Void's going to have a bit of trouble here. I mean, the Iron Shell on a Spirit Breaker is pretty difficult to deal with. He is the tankiest hero in the game at level 1.
I mean, this could be a huge problem here for the Faces. I mean, you've got that Iron Shell. They've got nothing to really deal with those Iron Shelled creeps that may actually appear. So this could be a little bit of a problem here for Anti-Mage, for the Void. But the advantage is he does have his time lapse available to him, so he can actually dispel quite a bit of that damage that does come out. And with that said, bounty runs going one apiece for both teams. No real bounty fights in the early parts of the game, so teams kind of respecting one another, and quite a bit of money on the line, so not wanting to make too many mistakes. And nice creep block in there from 100, really getting that pool nice and close to that ramp. Going to give him a little bit of an advantage here in the mid lane. Jumping on the bot lane, already got quite a bit of Iron Shells going over there. Mikasa already putting a little bit of pressure into 540 here on the Disruptor, and we can already see how much devastation this is already causing.
Yeah, and I mean, look at the Disruptor hitting him. It's like throwing paper at the Spirit Breaker at this stage. So it's a difficult lane, especially for this Disruptor. He is going to be under a lot of pressure once the Darkseer finds 1 or 2 more levels, and I don't know, maybe the axe rotation could be pretty big, but I think this SD can even rotate himself out to mid, secure that for the PL, and the laning stages can be almost secured here for eXdee.
Well, also something that I just want to mention as well, I mean, we've got the Shadow Demon playing up against an X. I mean, you get that disruption off onto the X, and then you've got two X's running around getting those helixes off, and that becomes a little bit of a nightmare to actually deal with. You've got these three X's running at you, throwing out these helixes, putting out a chunk of damage. It's going to be a little bit of a problem. So I think eXdee looking at it in a little bit of a better position at the moment, especially in terms of the laning phase. But here we go, Mikasa finds out 289, actually in a little bit of trouble, doesn't have the Iron Shell thrown on him yet. So now we've got 289 trying to survive, and that bash is too good, praying to that RNG, and getting that first blood there on Mikasa. Mikasa trying to now just get out, and charge is available, but the glimpse is good, brings him back into the fray, and now is it enough to actually bring him down? Maybe deny himself to the creeps. Good work, and he does! He gets the denier! A Dukin is too strong, getting that kill, and beautifully done there from the Space Cow.
That's... I don't even know what to say. That's just the best possible start for the Spirit Breaker. It's looking so good. But on a more serious note, going back to your point, the axe pickup, I actually wanted to point out that there are both pros and cons to the hero. Of course, you pointed out one of the cons dealing with the Shadow Demon is a little bit of a problem for him. Of course, the Shadow Demon gets to counter helixes, but the axe obviously does lock down the lifestealer through his rage. So again, that's why when he got picked up, I thought it was a very interesting pick. It's a risky pick, a little bit, but I think it's definitely one of the better picks that they could have got. Besides maybe something like a Magnus, they didn't have the SD, so they needed something that could go do some decent work through spell immunity.
I mean, the only other options I would really probably have is maybe a support page with a bite. Could be a good option. RP from a Magnus. We got the black hole from the Enigma, but choosing the X, I think it provides a lot more to team fights. But again, in the bot lane, Mikasa deciding to put a little bit of damage, well, charge out the Void, deciding to change targets onto the Disruptor. Now Elder Titan has actually come into the fray here now as well. So I mean, this duo pair here for the Spirit Breaker and the Darks here, really pulling a lot of attention from the support. So eXdee this time around, making sure that they don't get those kind of rotations that they did in the earlier parts of game 2, really is consuming a lot of the farm here for CarboN.
Yeah, a vital aspect out of this that we should be picking up is good charge. But a vital aspect that we should be picking up is look at the type of farm that the Void is getting compared to the lifestealer, who's being absolutely left alone, and the Void's finding no kills in this lane. So this is a laning victory. Oh, but a good glimpse here. They could maybe find their first kill here. 2 to 5 could be in some trouble. Maybe a lucky bash. They're gonna get the
stun is good. There's a Sunstrike. One more right click. And beautifully done there. Good Sunstrike there from the Invoker, bringing down the Darks here. And I mean, this glimpse is, I mean, you know, with all these supports, I mean, there's so many heroes that we've been speaking about and how things can actually go good and bad. But when eXdee engages onto CarboN, they've pretty much got to decide, are they going to fully engage? Because if not, and they decide to disengage, you've always got the glimpse available. And then that hero is not going to get away. And that is going to be a dead hero, which we just witnessed spot. So you've really got to be almost 100% certain whether you're going to engage and commit completely. Otherwise, you will lose one of your heroes to the glimpse of the Disruptor.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why I feel a little bit surprised that the SD hasn't rotated into the mid lane. Maybe they want to secure 100% farm and make sure that no one's going to catch RDK off guard here. But if the SD was maybe in the mid, that Elder Titan would not have been able to make that rotation, and they wouldn't have had their kill. But it's a really good kill here for CarboN. Good rotations from the Elder Titan, and that's exactly what they required. And you make a good point. You have to be certain, especially if you're going to be a Spirit Breaker. It's not that easy to escape from a Disruptor, especially if he does get good vision down.
Absolutely, and then once he gets his ether lens up, giving him that little bit of extra range on the glimpse, I mean, it does scale. That AoE range does become a little bit more as he levels that ability. So it becomes a little bit of a problem. So Mikasa making sure, we've got to make sure that when he engages, he completely commits. Just want to jump onto to the top lane quick, but in the mid lane, hang on, there's a charge happening here. Mikasa actually deciding to pull out, but now Axe has come to the fray. Can actually find Soda. Doesn't have much mana. Can't actually get that double off. And now taking up all that aggro from the creeps. Going to be good enough. Axe getting the kill on Soda in the mid lane. And that's a big pick off there for the side of CarboN. Getting down that PL. That is a beautiful kill that the Axe was able to just pick up there.
Yeah, just too bad the PL had no mana. If he was just able to cast a spell just to stop those tranquil boots from giving him so much movement speed, on top of course, the battle hunger, which gives him that additional 12 bonus movement speed, he just able to run him down really hard there, and not much the Spirit Breaker could have done after he had cancelled his charge at that time. But again, it's not all major loss. I mean, we're looking at the last hits chart here. 58 last hits on the Lifestealer. The second best is still the Darks here on the same team with 37. Axe, who's been jungling, is only sitting at third. No one's really competing.
Well, mid lane though, we've got the Nikes in Fez bomb happening here on the Invoker. Immediately gets the return kill there on the Invoker, getting that beautiful little bomb coming out from the Nyx, and beautifully done there, picking up that Invoker kill. So, I mean, even though RDK is doing unbelievably well in terms of farms, he's already got his armlet up, which is what I want to maybe ask you is, going for the armlet makes him very versatile in the early parts of the game, really getting him combat ready, fighting in the early parts of the game. Maybe because his farm was going so well, do you think maybe going for armlet, not armlet, for Midas could have been a little bit better? Or
I
do you
think
think this choice was correct?
I think it was correct. I think they realized, well, we got a Spirit Breaker. I mean, what do you do when you got a Lifestealer and a Spirit Breaker in the same team? You want to just fight. And having this early lead has just made it that much more difficult for CarboN to have to deal with. This Lifestealer bomb is going to come in there. He's going to be magic immune most of the time. The only thing, sort of control they have is this Axe, who's getting a decent way to getting that blink tag up, but it's going to be absolutely essential. There's no Vanguard rush here for him. In my opinion, I think it has to be the blink tag. They have to get some control down for this last year, especially with such a good start that he does have.
Well, also something else that I also want to point out, we've got Impact playing on our Shadow Demon, farming out these Ancients, because RDK is pretty much going uncontested and not really being harassed in lane. The Shadow Demon, oh, but hang on, there's been a kill somewhere here in the bot lane. Mikasa picking up a kill here on the Faceless Void. That's a nice little pick up there for the side of eXdee, being able to get that little kill there. So missing that little fight there, but going back to the Shadow Demon, pretty much free farming the jungle.
Yeah.
Because he's not, because the Lifestealer is not actually being contested at all. This is going to put him in a good timing to start getting his Arcane Boots up, to get his 4-staff, maybe even the Ether Lens, completely allowing the support to just jump in the jungle. And I don't know if eXdee actually have an opportunity to stop this, but now in the bot lane, 5-4-0, a little bit of pressure is going to TP out, but now the Faceless Void comes into the fray. He's just going to doppel up, and he gets caught in the chrono, catching two of them out, but focusing now on 2-5. The Sunstrike is going to be good, going to catch him out. Can Mikasa make something happen here? Is they going to choose to just take down this tier 1 tower and pretty much just allowing the Darkseer to drop, but picking up that tower on the back side of that? So maybe a fair trade. Definitely favouring CarboN in that little engagement, but still being able to bring down that tier 1 tower.
Yeah, I think that's definitely pretty solid for them. I mean, losing that objective it's not that bad. I mean, it is one of the more prioritized towers that you want to try and keep up. But at the end of the day, it will fall eventually. These bashes, man. But
there's the glimpse, the glimpse. Is it going to be good? It is. Brings him back into the fray. Throws down the kinetic field. Sunstrike's going to keep him in place, but the Nether Strike not going to actually land with the Sunstrike, but he still will pay with his life, and he does go down. Wall actually being used up there. Did the Sunstrike actually connect? It actually looked like it missed.
What?
But it actually, it does actually count.
It did 121 damage. That's not right. Maybe there were 2 creep in there, surely? I don't know. It's the only possible thing I can think of right now. That maybe 2 or 3 creepers standing inside that.
But in the mid lane, Nake's bomb again into Soda, does pop out, but the Axe is in the vicinity. Good call, catches 2. Sunstrike not going to catch. Dunk on one, not going to be good enough, but there comes the Static Storm, trying to focus down RDK. He's just going to run around and cause a disruption now. We've got Impact throwing down those little stacks there. We're already 2 up on the axe now. Mikasa, Nokia looking for something on the back of this. Not going to be able to find anything. And the call maybe just to get out of dodge. They did manage actually to pick up the Invoker. So they did get the kill that they wanted. Caused a couple of rotations from CarboN as well. So overall, nicely done there from eXdee, forcing things out a little bit. And so far, a little bit of a different game to what we've experienced in Game 1 and Game 2. Things are a lot more tied up. 4-4, as opposed to our previous games, a little bit more one-sided in the start of the game.
Yeah, I mean, we do expect this. This is for 10,000 Rand. Both teams are going to be giving it their absolute all, and there's going to be no space for errors, and whoever does make the errors more than likely going to be the team who loses. So I'm pretty sure neither of these teams are looking to slip up in any aspect. So I think we can only see high quality Dota from here, and this is definitely now crunch time. It's 1-1. There's no game after this to come back. So I definitely expected a very, very close engagement, close match this time around.
Does that mean I'd have to say goodbye to you after this game? Oh, you're gonna break my heart.
I'll WhatsApp you at least.
Right, well, back to the game at hand. Impact is still causing quite a little bit of disruptions here. But here in the bot lane, we've got Mikasa trying to find out the Void. Time lapses a huge amount of damage so beautifully, but there comes the bubble. Catches 3. They may look at trying to turn this, taking quite a bit of damage from that Iron Shell. Do you have the X jumping in? Tries to get the call off, not going to be good enough. We've got the disruption coming out from the Shadow Demon, keeping the Darkseer alive as well. Now we've got the Mikasa jumping onto the Elder Titan. Sunstrike is going to land this time, and that is going to be one dead Spirit Breaker being able to get that return kill there. So maybe playing a little bit too aggressive, but on the backside of this, we have got the mid tower going down here for the side of CarboN. They've lost their mid tier 1, and now Soda putting pressure here onto the tier 1 tower top. So things, I suppose they kind of leveled it out, considering that they may actually get 2 towers out of this and only losing the Spirit Breaker. Remember, he is going to be playing at position 4, so not one of those high priority. But there comes the X, jumps in, does miss it, gets that double off just in time. But there's a glimpse, going to be good. Brings him into the stun from the Elder Titan, but not the Sunstrike's not going to land. But it doesn't matter because we've got ourselves a basketball player. Dunk goes the X. Dead is the PL, and not being able to close out that top tier 1 tower.
Yeah, that was pretty good there for CarboN finding that kill. Decent chunk of gold, and slowing down the PL is going to be very essential. But do yourself a favor and just look over at these net worths, man. It's a massive lead. The laning stages just went so well for eXdee. CarboN are going to need a lot more of these rotations to really find themselves in a position where you can say, looks like they're going to win this game. And it's going to be a tough one. Meanwhile, Charge actually in the jungle here. This might be Hodazelis, I think. Yeah, no, just keeping an eye on the Invoker.
Oh, that was... he has actually been shadowed up. Their warding is so deep and so aggressive here from the side of eXdee. You've got a ward here, you've got a ward over here. So anyone farming in this vicinity kind of just gets caught out, and an instant charge is going to be available. They do ping out. The next does actually ping it out. We're going to keep a camera view here on Mikasa. Does actually spot out the Invoker. There's the charge. There's the bomb. 100. Not going to be able to survive through this. And does eventually go down. Not enough quicker rotations coming out from the side of CarboN. And, I mean, we can see the strength of this combo. I mean, something we never really spoke about when the draft was taking place, because the Lifestealer was actually picked up in the last part of the drafting phase. But bot lane, Spirit Breaker finding out the Void. The charge is good. We do have the rotation coming in here from Elder Titan, and the charge has actually been stopped. So Mikasa smelling a little bit of a rat in the vicinity and actually stopping the charge. So, I mean, the last draft, that the Lifestealer was the last to be picked up in the draft, and because he was picked up last, we never really spoke about vessels to actually carrying him around the map. And knowing, I think they felt already from when they picked up the Spirit Breaker that it was going to be a Lifestealer.
Yeah. And they got a couple of good vessels. I mean, even the PL's a good vessel with his rush. That makes it very easy for him to really just close the gap in between any heroes. But of course, everyone's favorite, the Spirit Breaker Lifestealer Bomb. I mean, we love playing it. We hate playing against it. And even the Darkseer, he's going to look to pick up a Blink Dagger more than likely. Probably next item. And with that, he too can be a pretty decent vessel. So, I mean, good point you made. We didn't really cover that, but it's a scary aspect. However, I still feel the Axe is a really good pickup here. Both of the cores can be in major jeopardy if they don't position themselves well enough. So it's either going to be Nokia or it's going to be RDK going down. Charge now in the mid lane, however. Gonna see if they can catch 100 here. But I think this might be a bit of an overzealous play.
Oh, there comes the bubble, going to catch the 100 in the bubble. That's going to cost him his life. And now they're going to try and turn it. We do have the rage up on the Lifestealer. The Earth Split is going to be good. Catches out too. Now, oh my word, the armor toggling coming out from RDK, keeping him alive. And now 2-3 down for the side of CarboN. They're going to try and chase it out. PL in hot pursuit. The Lifestealer picking up the disrupt in the backlines. Now Mikasa finding the Faceless Void has actually earned him up. Going to just time-lapse a majority of that damage. PL finding the damage, finding the kill on the Elder Tiding in the backlines. And that was almost a full 5-man team wipe. And what a beautiful little engagement there coming out from the side of eXdee. Maybe on your side, a little bit overzealous. On the side of eXdee, thinking calculated. That chrono coming down, actually keeping 100 in that damage zone. And beautiful armlet toggling coming out from RDK, keeping himself alive, going back to base with basically 1 HP. Beautifully done from the side of eXdee. Just Dota at its best.
I thought CarboN were just going to destroy eXdee there, and then the toggles happened.
The toggles.
I'm speechless, man. That was 3 incredible toggles from RDK. I was watching him, I was like, oh, they're gonna get a kill on RDK, and then things turned south, and they had to just keep on focusing because he just toggled them. I don't know how he did that. Oh man, that was brilliant, and yeah, I don't think that was a mistake by CarboN. I just think the plays are just too good from eXdee. So.
Well, they try and find out RDK again. Does rage up. Glimpse is not going to pull him back. Now Mikasa in a lot of trouble. He does actually go down. But rather him than RDK on the Lifestealer and just being able to make his way out of dodge over there. So sacrificing himself, making sure the Lifestealer does get out. And I mean, playing superbly, unbelievably well. The Glimpse not actually pulling him back. Rage was off cooldown, so he could just cast that, and Glimpses wasn't going to be good enough. Actually, had used that up. I don't know why the Spirit Breaker actually didn't just charge out. Did something break his charge?
I am not too sure. I actually did miss that the beginning of that fight, so I'm not too sure if his charge was even on cooldown there. But yeah, that maybe. I don't know, maybe he just didn't find a target on the map. I don't know, maybe he just thought he wasn't going to get away and didn't want them to start putting focus onto RDK and just thought, I'll sacrifice my life. So I'm not so sure.
Well, let's just jump onto the Axe quickly. I mean, generally it's one of the things that kind of confuse me as Axe players, because some Axe players decide to go for Vanguard first, then into Blink, then to Blade Mail. In this specific game, we've got the Blink being picked up first, and then the Blade Mail, but still no Vanguard. Maybe you want to run us through kind of what the ideal item progression is, as eXdee is actually in the pit at the moment. So we shouldn't see a fight for the next, but they have smoked up.
Yeah, I don't know where I sit on this idea of not going for the Vanguard. The Blade Mail makes a lot of sense. Of course, it does go through Rage, obviously. So a lot of damage will be dealt back onto the Lifestealer. So they want to make sure they can bring him down as fast as they can, and he can't toggle his way out of it. Fair enough. But if you're going to be trying to deal with the PL, and you do a call, it's far better to have the Vanguard. But obviously the team have discussed this and said, okay, our priority is to try and bring down that Lifestealer, and then we can manage to pull it off. So I don't know. I think I would have liked Vanguard, but Blade Mail does make sense. Oh dear, he's
top
dead.
lane. Axe does go down again, and good night, sweetheart. You are down for the count. He never even had the opportunity to actually even cast his Blade Mail there. That is actually off cooldown. I don't know how long that fight actually lasted for, but because it was so quick, I think that was even unable to even use his blade mail. But now, RDK trying to find out far for the charge is going to be good. RDK 3 hits. That is a dead disruptor. Charge not even quick enough to even get him in the vicinity, and RDK chunking lives of the supports at the moment.
So I do dare you to press F6.
F6. I'm pressing F6. What's that supposed to take me to?
I don't know if your keys are bound. Okay, look at the network graphs.
Network graph. I have actually oh my god, 14k. 14k advantage lead for eXdee and XP graph 10,000. This is not a good for the side of.
Yeah, and it's not really been. It's not really reliance on the amount of kills. I mean, the difference is only 4. It's just that laning stage was just so good, and I mean, RDK has been able to find himself 5 kills without a single death. Again, he's really going long periods of time in the game without dying, and I must say, the supports have done a great job. A lot of times they sacrifice themselves or buy a lot of space for him to get himself an out, and on top of his magnificent toggles, I think the whole team has a part to play in how RDK has been quite successful in these last 2 games so far. I do repeat, this game is not over yet, but it's really looking good for eXdee at this stage.
Well, there's a huge advantage coming out here from eXdee at least, but the Glimpse is going to pull him back. It does actually rage up, and the Glimpse is now down. If I do recall, it's probably around about 10 seconds to go. So again, in 10 seconds, the Glimpse is going to be available, but there comes out that lance from the PL. Just putting a little bit of chip damage on. He does actually have his diffusal up at the moment, so every time he throws out that lance, it is just going to burn the mana away here for the side of CarboN. And with all these illusions, they're going to be able to just do a little bit of chip damage onto this tower without actually putting any of the teams in. But there's Mikasa, jumps in. Static Storm does get brought down. There's a vacuum into wall. The Static Storm's not going to catch anyone. 100, very low HP on the backlines. Soda trying to make something happen. There comes the call. Not going to be good enough. We've got RDK trying to right-click down the axe. He does get him. And now RDK trying to find the disruptor. Going to be held in place there by the kinetic field. And now the 3 players here for the side of CarboN trying to work on RDK. There comes the toggling again, rage up. Not going to allow that blink to actually pull him back. Going to create enough space to actually do a little bit of damage to this Rex. Now the stomp is going to be good. Only catches out Soda though. There comes the charge coming out from Mikasa, looking down to hunt down that Elder Titan. Now Soda, RDK finishing off the Rex in the backlines. And the call is now to get out. They've got what they needed with 0 losses for the side of eXdee and only the X actually going down. So a relatively good fight for both teams. Unfortunately, CarboN losing their Rex. So maybe not losing too much in terms of heroes, CarboN, but still losing their Rex, which is never a good scenario. You kind of feel that if no players died, you kind of didn't defend your Rex well enough.
Well, you know you're in a bad place when the Shadow Demon has more net worth than your axe. So they've got a big mountain to climb here. This is Mount Everest. I mean, it was Kilimanjaro, now it's Everest. This is a difficult task if they want to find themselves back into this. They got Ags up on the Invoker. It's gonna slow down the high ground push, but I mean, one of the weaknesses of going for this core position Void is that he doesn't have a now. It's not easy for him to find these Chronos. His Chronos have been...
big blink in there from RDK, trying to bring down 100. Is it going to be good enough? He's going to get that last right click off, and RDK picks up the kill on the Invoker. The stump is going to keep him in place for just a little while. There comes the axe from the call from the axe, but good defensive disruption coming out from the Shadow Demon. Still working on the axe, and now Void coming to the party. Trying to work on RDK. The Static Storm is down. Going to do quite a bit of damage here to RDK. He's just going to toggle his way through it. Void in a lot of trouble. Illusions from Soda. Trying to work him down, but there you have it. GG. Good game. Is called. The Ballistix Masters Finals is done. That is a wrap. And eXdee going to take home the prize pool money of 10k. That is going to go to them. So very well played to the boys of eXdee, managing to bring home this big win. And yeah, this has been an amazing series, and what a way to end off the night.
Yeah, of course. 2 of the best teams in South Africa going head to head. I mean, wouldn't miss it for the world. And I do thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to cast alongside you here, Juba. And of course, great game. Game number 3 here, I think eXdee just came in absolutely confident from their victory in game 2. And the laning stages just pulled them right through the game. They didn't even face a single hiccup from the laning stages until the end. So very good play and very methodical from eXdee.
Well, while I run through the thank yous and whatever, could you find out the result of the APG game? Perhaps that's finished, and then we can give a live update to the viewers out there. So in the interim, while Scarpy's finding that out for us, big thanks to everyone that made this Ballistix Masters Final possible. Thank you to the sponsors, to Crucial, to the Ballistix, to Cynatech, to Anatech, to Red Dragon, and for all of you out there watching, this couldn't have taken place without you. And we wish that South Africa continues to grow in the esports scene. We definitely trying to get our industry up there, trying to really compete with what's happening in the world. And it's only going to take place when you as the viewers start participating and start really becoming the viewership and the voice of all our gamers out there. So I think that is pretty much it. This is going to wrap up the Ballistix Cup Masters, and unfortunately this is a goodbye, and we will probably see you very soon. But from myself and Scarpy, do follow us for any other games that are upcoming. We do hope to see you guys at Rage. I know Scarpy is going to be participating with his team at the DGC. We wish you the best of luck, you and your team, Scarps. Do come say hi to me. I'll be casting at Rage, so do come find me, do give me a holler up, and let me say how's it to you. And yeah, pretty much, Scarps, do you have a result for us?
Unfortunately, they were all offline for some reason, so it was 1-1, so it could have gone anyway. So unfortunately,
Right, well,
we'll try and update it on our Twitters and Facebooks. If you can just follow us, of course. My Twitter handle will be @ScarpyDota. I'll more than likely use that one. And Juba, of course, you want to share some of the information.
Well, I'm at Jabba Gaming. Do give us a follow. Do give us your comments, and just follow us in future if you just want to catch other games that are taking place. We need all your support. SA needs all your support, and that's the only way to grow the game. So from myself and Scarps, we wish you a pleasant Sunday evening. We wish you a well Monday. We wish you a good week, and the weekend upcoming, we wish you that to be the greatest. So from myself, good night and God bless.
Yes.
Crucial is a brand of Micron, one of the largest memory manufacturers in the world. We leverage more than 35 years of expertise to create some of the world's most reliable memory and SSDs. Everything from select silicon to the finished product is tested, monitored throughout production, and tested again before it leaves our doors. Unlike third-party brands, we don't end assemble. We make everything from start to finish. That's quality you can depend on. Crucial desktop and laptop memory is one of the easiest and most affordable ways to improve performance. Designed to help computers run faster and smoother, Crucial memory is available for more than 100,000 systems in DDR to DDR4 technology, and it's easy to install. Load programs faster, increase system responsiveness, run data-intensive applications with ease, and multitask seamlessly. Crucial server memory is available in all form factors and all levels of memory technology, compatible with OEM servers and warranties, and manufactured to mission-critical standards. Servers fuel everyone in an organization. Since active data resides in memory, increasing a server's installed memory capacity is one of the easiest and most affordable ways to improve workload and organizational performance. Get more out of your server infrastructure by maximizing the installed memory capacity. Crucial SSDs are faster, more energy efficient, and more durable than hard drives. Booting up and accessing data on a Crucial SSD is like flipping a light switch. It's almost instant and makes everything you do extremely fast. All of our SSDs are backed by hundreds of qualification tests and our free Crucial Storage Executive tool to ensure that you get the most reliable storage for your data.
Crucial Ballistix gaming memory delivers the seamless performance and instant responsiveness you need for total domination. With Ballistix gaming memory, you get faster speeds, lower latencies, and aggressive heat spreaders. Advanced features such as LEDs, low-profile modules, and real-time temperature monitoring let you customize your rig further. Ballistix modules are available in DDR3 and the latest DDR4 technology, which is faster, has lower voltages, and greater capacities than DDR3. Choose your level of performance with Sports, Tactical, or Elite series, and crush the competition with Ballistix. Accelerate nearly everything on your rig with a Crucial SSD. Slash load times, get into your game faster, and access files, games, and apps almost as soon as you click on them. Choose the form factor that's right for your build and destroy the competition with the power and acceleration of a Crucial SSD.
Crucial is a brand of Micron, one of the largest memory manufacturers in the world. We leverage more than 35 years of expertise to create some of the world's most reliable memory and SSDs. Everything from select silicon to the finished product is tested, monitored throughout production, and tested again before it leaves our doors. Unlike third-party brands, we don't end assemble. We make everything from start to finish. That's quality you can depend on. Crucial desktop and laptop memory is one of the easiest and most affordable ways to improve performance. Designed to help computers run faster and smoother, Crucial memory is available for more than 100,000 systems in DDR to DDR4 technology, and it's easy to install. Load programs faster, increase system responsiveness, run data-intensive applications with ease, and multitask seamlessly. Crucial server memory is available in all form factors and all levels of memory technology, compatible with OEM servers and warranties, and manufactured to mission-critical standards. Servers fuel everyone in an organization. Since active data resides in memory, increasing a server's installed memory capacity is one of the easiest and most affordable ways to improve workload and organizational performance. Get more out of your server infrastructure by maximizing the installed memory capacity. Crucial SSDs are faster, more energy efficient, and more durable than hard drives. Booting up and accessing data on a Crucial SSD is like flipping a light switch. It's almost instant and makes everything you do extremely fast. All of our SSDs are backed by hundreds of qualification tests and our free Crucial Storage Executive tool to ensure that you get the most reliable storage for your data.